Hello all, for being here. If you're here, um, we are going to do a roundtable in just a second. Thanks for being there, judgmental. For judgment, for ease button, or he. Anyway, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right. There's no need for me to hurry here. Black people aren't around, aren't ready. So yeah. So we're gonna have to wait for the black people to show up. It takes a while. For our black friends to, you know, make themselves available. Kind of a running theme. Don't know if you've heard. So, while we wait for the black people to finally make it here, we are going to, look at some news articles. I'm gonna talk about them. NBC News, Trump dares Harris from debates and interviews to reassert himself. Yeah, Trump is... I don't know what's going on with the debates. Honestly, it's like not clear to me, but Trump is saying that he has asked Kamala Harris to do 3 debates, and then he's saying, well, it's up to her to actually accept the debates. I don't like he's a liar, so I don't necessarily believe him. And so we'll just have to wait for the Harris camp to reply. But I imagine Harris is ready to go for her debate. Or for the debate that, like, for instance, that they agreed to with ABC News previously. But if he want, he said he specifically brought up NBC News, that he agreed with the debate on NBC News. And so it seems like fine enough. So hopefully this gets worked out soon enough. I'm not really sure what's happening on the back end. I know Trump was running. Very clear that Trump was running away, debating Harris, because he was dismayed. He was hoping for another slam dunk like he did with Genocide Joe. But yeah, no. He's afraid that Harris might act. And honestly, I don't know if you even should be afraid, considering what the last time, like what happened with Harris was on the debate stage. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So we'll see. See how that works out. Still waiting for people. But yeah, I don't know when it's gonna be a thing. Always. New Korea would come. Okay, so the U.S. is winning by a lot in the medal department in terms of the Olympics. I haven't been watching or anything. I know Simone Biles got some medals, so hashtag her. Like hashtag Simone Biles. Proving that she's amazing, a superstar. We are in terms of gold medals, which is what matters the most, of course. We've got 30. China has 29, and France has 14. We need to be riding that gap against the Chinese. Let the Chinese know who's in charge. The Chinese did beat us. I think the one time. I think during the Chinese Olympics, they did beat us. Like the Beijing, not the China. I guess it was Beijing Olympics, right? Yeah. I think they. I'm almost certain they beat us with medals and like everything. I think they crushed us at that point. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. The U.S. needs to dominate in the Olympics. Let the world know who the superpower is. And it's a peaceful way of doing that. Of signaling that you're number 2. Number 1. Don't forget it. But in terms of total medal count, we are dominating in total medal count, so that's good. We got a little too many bronzes. I'm seeing here. I don't like a ratio to bronzes. So we have 30 gold medals, silver medals, 38, and 35 bronzes. A little too many bronzes being stacked up here. We need that ratio needs. I mean, we have more bronzes than we have golds, right? That's also true for France. I mean, do we want to be France? For the Chinese, they have significantly more golds than they have bronzes. So I'm not liking this ratio. It's not beautiful. Not superpower-ish. I mean, a medal's a medal, and we'll take it, but reluctantly. But anyway, in the total medal count, we're at 103, and China's at 73, and France is at 54. It's a bad ratio, but the overall count. As long as we're crushing, I'll take it. I'll reluctantly take it. Need more of those bronzes to be golds, more of those silvers to be golds. But anyway, yeah. So hold on. Let's see if any black people have showed up. Only one has showed up. Hopefully, we can get some more. At some point in time. So okay, let's see. I'm like looking for like what would be interesting story to talk about. Justice Department opens investigation to Liberty Media over F1 Andretti clash. I don't know what that is. Mario Andretti says Formula One executive personally vowed to block his team entering the sport. Okay, it looks like some sort of corruption case within F1. There's so much corruption cases in sports. And speaking of corruption, let's talk about the Olympics again. Oh boy. If you want corruption, go to IOC, the International Olympics Committee, right? Nothing but corrupt individuals. And if you're looking for more, go to the World Cup Committee. Like, holy crap. Their officers got raided, they got arrested. It was wild, but like predictable. It's only really with the IOC and the World Cup Committee, it's only a matter if you've currently caught the latest scheme they're up to. Because every single one of them, all of them are scammers. All of them, the whole committee, scammers. Certainly open for bribes, right? They literally get bribed all the time. That's the thing that happens. I think, did Russia bribe them? No. Well, in terms of the World Cup, I think it was the UAE, I believe, I could be wrong. It's one of those, all these countries. I believe the UAE was the one who, hosted them. Whichever one it was, they did bribe the World Committee. That's why they got arrested. I was like, oh yeah, but I mean, the contract was already there, so I guess it worked. There's no consequences for the country itself, right? They're like, yeah, we're gonna provide you with this bribe. You're gonna take the bribe. We're gonna get the winner win the bid, and then be sure to cover up your tracks because if not, I mean, we're not gonna help you. We won't do anything for you. We gave you the money. That's what we're doing for you. You're taking the money because you're corrupt. And so that's how they got. And then they, of course, proceeded to literally enslave people from like India, like Nepal, and force them to build those stadiums in terrible working conditions, and thousands of them died. So that's the thing that happened. Oh, all right. Yeah. So anyway, so if the F1, if the F1 committee or no whatever, is by F1 Formula One, if they're up to no good, yeah, that would be keeping the line with sports in general. Um. So let's see. Third person dies in the listeria outbreak linked to deli meat. More than 40 hospitalized across the U.S. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Yeah, there's apparently a deli meat outbreak. Um, this is why we need more inspectors, man. Like that's like not a joke. It's not a joke. Like the need for inspectors in our food processes, like guys, like when we talk about regulation, when you hear the left talking about like, hey, we need regulation to keep us safe, is this shit right here, right? Empowering and expanding the FDA, or maybe creating another committee to handle it because the FDA is doesn't have the best track record. um, Speaking of corruption, but then that's a larger problem with lobbyists being able to, take up positions of government. But beyond that, like we do need inspectors. One way or the other, we gotta find a way to get inspectors inside the government. Inspectors to make sure that our foods, our drugs, anything that we're eating, certainly, anything that we're ingesting, is safe, or we will have a lot more of these outbreaks. Um, oh, so in the next headline here it says FDA's hands-off, in quotes, hands-off approach to additives may allow unsafe ingredients in food, experts suggest. Exactly. I didn't even see that before, right? Exactly what I was just saying. The FDA, like, needs to be empowered to do these things. It's a hands-off approach. That's an issue. That's a big issue. Like, we need to hire more inspectors. We need to be hounding. We need producers of for food, of our drugs, to be terrified of the FDA, right? To know that an inspection can happen anytime, anywhere, and there will be consequences, including jail time for the most egregious violators, right? Like terrified. They need to be on the platform for us. Like you can't do that, right? That's against regulations. And be sweating bullets when they see it. Because well, hold on, could there be an inspector around? I don't know. Inspectors need to be like ninjas, being able to like pop in and out of these plants unseen. Like that's what we need to make sure that our food supply is safe. It's that serious. But or else we can just do it this way, and we can have what was it? 3 people dying from a listeria outbreak and 40 people at least hospitalized. We could just do that. Or that's another option, I guess. Common low-calorie sweetener may be riskier for heart disease. Blah blah blah. Still waiting on more black people to show up. Okay. Just scrolling down. Brooke Schofield apologized for racist tweets. Black creator says it's not enough. Brooke Schofield. Who's this? I don't know who this person is. Schofield is one of numerous influencers that have been called out for their past racist remarks over the years. Okay. Brooke Schofield is apparently some white lady, some brunette. I don't know who she is. Well, let's find out. A popular influencer apologized this week for a past racist post on social media, prompting outrage from some black creators who say they are tired of white creators constantly having their previous racist behavior unearthed without significant repercussions. Brooke Schofield, has built a following of 2.2 million on TikTok with her lifestyle videos, posted two apologies, one on Sunday and another on Tuesday, addressing backlash that stemmed from people discovering several of her Twitter posts. Twitter, very useful for discovering people's bigotries, because they'll spew them. Twitter posts splashed between 2012 and 2015. In her post, which she wrote as a teenager, she defended George Zimmerman's killing of Trayvon Martin, shared that she had said racist profanities in public, and insulted black people's hair. He sounds lovely. I'm sorry, very sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, very, very sorry. Anybody who is hurt by the tweets, because obviously they're very hurtful. That is not how I think. That is not what I believe. And I'm 27 years old now. I've had so much time to learn and grow and formulate my own opinions. Representatives of Schofield, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but did not respond to requests for further comment. Schofield's resurfaced post and subsequent apologies have frustrated black creators online who said they feel this type of social media scandal has turned into a recurring cycle. We have the same discourse every single year. So who is learning? Who is changing if this same thing happens like clockwork? Certainly not the creators themselves, that's obvious. So this is another TikTok creator, Cameron Kira, is criticizing this. In her videos, Kira, who did not respond to requests for comment, suggests that creators who have experienced scandals involving insensitive remarks have not grown from their past comments. Zari Taylor, a faculty member at New York University who researches race and digital culture, said that it would take time for Schofield or other white creators who have done similar harm to prove that they are supportive of marginalized communities. Yeah, it would actually take action. It's like, I guess I want to know more about the criticisms that people are leveling against this woman, right? Or in this, like, the white creators in general. It's like, okay, this person said this stuff in the past, right? It'd be one thing, it'd be a different thing. She like said it like recently, okay? That'd be different. This it said that in the past, and it was a teenager, right? And within this digital age, when people spew their bigotry, they can't help it on Twitter all the time, or other places on the internet. It's gonna get dug up, right? So like the fact that these things, we keep finding these types of remarks, that'll just keep happening because people will still be, because the past is set, right? People will have a past. Some people will have bland past. Other people will have unsavory past, right? Those people with unsavory past, lots of times their mistakes will be brought up later on. That part, that's like not going to end, right? I guess the thing that needs to be criticized is like, okay, what actions you're going to take to prove that you aren't, and rather than just like a terrible apology on Instagram. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, okay, sure. Like, what are you doing to actually prove that you're a changed individual, right? I don't know. And that would take, honestly, sustained work. And these white people ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that. They're gonna apologize, move on with their fucking lives. The way it is. That's the way it is. All you gotta do, right? This is terrible apologies for my mascara running. Oh my god, I actually like black people now. At some point in time, I started to like black people and their hair. I love it now. I want to touch it all the time. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hope she changes the individual. Is she gonna bother to prove it? Is her fame is her fame in jeopardy? Is her money in jeopardy? Probably not. Advertisers don't really care, They'll care in the immediate moment, like, okay, like at this moment you're a little hot right now, and we don't want to associate our products with you at this very moment. But I don't know. We'll come back in a few months, see how things are or where we're at, and people aren't talking about it anymore. We're back in business. I don't fucking care. A lot of those advertisers, those sponsors, those influencers working, they feel the same fucking way. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. They just don't want to actively be associated in that moment with their own racism. So any which way. We've got a few black people who've shown up. That's that's fun. Finally. But let's see if we can join them. Have a discussion. Right.
Damn, did you hear me?
I did.
Oh, we heard you.
Yeah, I heard what you were saying. And
I just think it's irresponsible, don't you?
well, the thing that you're gonna have to deal with is
Autonomy and freedom. Yeah, I know.
No, not even that. I think there's like there is a degree where it is no longer reasonable for them to be able to consent. But that's like you're dealing with like an extreme end of the spectrum. At that point, a lot of people with who are on the spectrum, a lot of people with Down syndrome, whatever, are still able to have healthy relationships and sexual relationships and all of those things.
It's not about like healthy relationships. I'm talking about.
So that's what I'm curious. What you're saying? Are you saying anyone, anywhere?
No. Just they can have relationships, but I think like we shouldn't let them procreate. Is what I'm trying to say.
Like, are you saying anyone?
Not any, like the ones that are like severely mentally deficient, or like obviously mentally deficient. Like the thing is, like I think it's really bad. Like it's unfair to those children. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it's super unfair to the children by essentially guaranteeing them that they have a mental deficiency.
Again, that's what I'm saying.
That, like I don't think that's, I'm just looking out for the children.
So
what I'm saying is that
eugenics. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly word for word. But the overlap that we're missing here is like, what do you mean by that? Is because if the parents are if the people are severe, they aren't supposed to have children. Like there's like already laws and things in place related to.
Wait, there's laws in place currently that doesn't allow mentally
consent.
I mean, is it the same way that underage people aren't allowed to consent to each other?
I don't know. You get consent. I don't know what the same way means.
Because I don't. What I'm trying to say is once somebody is already implanted, like once the sperm has met the egg, what the fuck can you do, right?
I mean, I don't know what happens to the baby. They probably can have the child, but the person who does it is probably going to jail.
But the mothers, that's a curious thought, isn't it? Like that's actually, now that you brought up that scenario, what does happen when a super mentally deficient like female or person that gives birth to a super or a child eventually, like does that child automatically get taken away? Do they immediately lose custody? What do you think, Prime?
I don't know the laws here. I'm curious as to what they might be. I think that's an interesting question. I just have no idea. But I am not pro. I'm not pro.
What do you think should happen, Prime?
I'm anti.
If somebody is like super mentally deficient, they can't even take care of themselves.
I mean, I used to work in a facility. That's the only reason I know part of this is because I was a teacher at a facility for
Should they have custody of their children or should they lose it?
Well, they can't have custody. They don't have custody of themselves.
Yeah. That's they probably. I mean, in terms of that, like they probably should lose custody. Again, I don't know what the laws are. But it makes sense to if they literally can't take themselves. There's no point putting a baby into the mix, right? But beyond that, I am anti-eugenics because we can say we're doing it for the kids. But then, okay, once you open up the argument, when people can simply decide, who is worthy to have kids and who's not, well then, lots of people have ideas about that. And in fact, they did have ideas about that the last time we went down this path. And they're like, black people. There are a lot of black people. They seem pretty stupid to me. Let's go around and sterilize them. Like that's what this country did.
The issue isn't about necessarily kids. The issue is they can't have sex. Like there's certain people we do make legal precautions So protection of people, some people can't consent to sex. And
No, I'm
we
I'm
just got-
responding to what Dream said though.
Yeah, but let me respond to what you just responded to. I think you're being too absolutist about it because you're like all or nothing. But I think you would make the decision based on the facts, just like we do with anything else, right? Meaning that the problem isn't allowing it to happen as a concept. The problem is how it's implemented, right? Like, for example, killing isn't wrong as a concept, right? But it depends how you kill, and that's what makes it allowed. Self-defense is an okay way to kill, just like eugenics might be an okay way to get rid of some people if those people are
It's
actually
getting better.
like it would be better for those people to have never existed, and you put them people out of their misery, and I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm thinking about
You're saying it
I'm
the
thinking
way
about
lots of people have said in the past, especially in Germany.
I'm thinking about I'm thinking
Yeah.
about Zeke, right? I'm thinking about Zeke and Attack on Titan, right? Like, that's how I'm thinking right now. Like, I
understand what you're saying. Like, I'm just saying, prime. Like, you have to remember who you talk to. If you have to broaden your scope to include everything, you're thinking too narrow, and what he's saying is correct in the broadest of scope. Like, if someone was born with a disease where they're like, I don't know, like the dude from SpongeBob,
like their skin is on fire.
You would say like, oh, okay, it's probably not like good, and they probably would agree. They like don't want other people to have this.
Yeah.
condition.
So rather than legislate it, right? Like if like you said, if they can figure it out themselves, then there's no need to legislate that, right?
But we do legislate. But you also agree that there are people that it would be considered assault to have sex with.
Hold on, but that's different. Hold on, don't let's not mix the two things, right? Because you gave me two different examples. I'm going to work with two different examples.
Mhm.
So you're saying, hey, like they have some sort of unfortunate malady, right? Like deformation, and should that person be able to reproduce? Now, I would say if I were them, I probably wouldn't I would voluntarily not do so. And so in that case, yeah, it's fine. If it's fine that they can make that decision. There's no need for us to step in. And in the second case, it's not about in terms of a person who's mentally ill, not about them not being unable to have babies, as being able to consent because they don't have the mental fortitude.
But even if they said like, oh, I want artificial insemination, it's not just sex. We also don't want them to reproduce.
Not just sex, like so. First of all, one of them would know what artificial insemination would be. This person can't take care of themselves, would understand what artificial insemination would be. I mean, so we have a person who can't wipe their own ass, but they know what artificial insemination is.
I was about to say that's absolutely. I just worked in the facility. Like there's people who can't take care of themselves that are like high functioning and generally really intelligent that also will be illegal to have sex with.
Wait a minute, hon. Explain.
Wait, high functional, generally intelligent.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Then help me out
I'm
with this.
about to say because people have different things that they're.
I know. Like they're super naive, but they're like critical, like mathematically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, to some degree.
Give me an exact one, not what he just made up.
I mean, like there's people who you can have engaging conversations with. It's not like, oh, okay, they can wipe they can wipe their butt, but they can like.
But that's like the mind of a child.
They can never live alone. Like they're not. It wouldn't be safe for them to make decisions for themselves.
Why wouldn't it be safe for them to make a decision?
Like they have the mind of a child, right? Like
I said, I'm not asking. I'm talking to Bam. I don't know why you thought I was talking to you. I'm talking to Bam. Let Bam answer the question. He was in the facility. He can do it. I believe in him. Bam,
yeah, he's the only one that works with autistic people.
Yeah, I don't care, dude. I'm not talking to you. Let Bam answer the question that I asked Bam. He's right there. He's got a mouth. He uses it all the time to say stupid shit. Sorry. Sorry. You didn't even catch this shit.
You just caught a stray.
I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry, friend.
Anyways, yeah, there is people who like you can make a decision on like, oh, okay, I know what I want to eat today.
Okay.
But they also have like irrational presuppositions? I don't know. To like, oh, okay, she hurt my feelings, I'm gonna like stab her. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
take a
you
knife
mean
and
like
kill it.
the violent, like the
Not that
mentally,
you can
the violently
violence
mentally
was
ill?
violent was an example, but you can apply it to anything. They can make extreme decisions
Okay.
like due to like emotional shifts.
So they have
And
emotional regulation problem and not like a mental deficiency. Is that what you're
It's
saying?
part of it.
yeah, kind of, yeah, basically. But they still would, but that because of that, you wouldn't want them to be, you don't want them to have sexual relationships because it's really easy for them to be taken advantage of. They have crushes really easy. Like a girl, like, oh,
Mm,
Yeah,
take
yeah,
that, and
yeah,
now they're
yeah.
like, I'm in love with her, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
and it's like
understand.
mm,
I've
they
dealt with like two of those people in high school.
mm.
There was this guy named Ed who would like confess his love to this girl who she was like the hottest girl in school, and she would like get really weirded out. And he did it to multiple girls too. It would be her and another girl, and like Facebook messages, like they're trying to be nice to him, but like even like the slightest, the nicest, like, oh no, I'm not interested. He gets super angry about it.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. So people like those, but then like he's really great at playing the guitar. I mean, he's articulate. But he's always with
Wait a minute, but
his dad.
the person that you just described, that person, uh, not being able to consent to things, that sounds different. Sounds like he's more than functional enough. Not that he can't be
He's never
dangerous.
alone though. He's always with his
Okay,
family
so
or parents or like a paraprofessional. He's
he,
never left alone. Or if he is left alone, it's like during lunchtime where he eats. But like I've always seen him like with his family, and I wouldn't trust him alone. Like I don't even know why he has access to social media. That shit was insane. Like he's
I
just
have
DMing.
I had a I had not I had I it, there was a kid in my middle school who had a counselor, a social social worker, like a counselor, and would follow this kid everywhere because of his the way he would act out. And it was just like he was required to be in all the classes with us. I remember that guy. That guy's pretty cool. Because
Yeah.
separately from all that, yeah, he was in the comic books, and sometimes we would meet at the comic book store. That was near my house, and it was pretty cool. And to talk to him, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
But,
paraprofessionals are typically cool.
but
I used to think that you had to be special ed to be a paraprofessional.
but but in any case, like yeah, but it's not as if that person, at least my understanding, wouldn't be that that person, like as an adult, wouldn't be able to consent to things. But I don't know. Again, I don't know the
But I mean,
specific
like,
case.
you
Maybe
gotta think
that.
about it. Like, at least where I'm at, like, these special ed students are allowed to be in high school up until 24, I believe. And high school just becomes like a glorified babysitting facility for these special ed people.
I think I would need just like more to make up my mind about this. I need more concrete examples, because these seem pretty vague, right? Uh, but I could be convinced.
What details are
But
missing?
and
What
in the end, I would say like at the most I would budge on this is saying okay, um, is that some individuals don't have the mental capacity to decide if they can have sex. I wouldn't say that um, like just because you're of actually I'll leave it there. I'll just leave it there.
my thing is, like, I think the bad thing about eugenics is like essentialism, and it's not based on ability. That's my opinion about the bad thing about eugenics is like if we were to like use CRISPR, for example, as a way to do eugenics and like get rid of asthma. No more asthmatics. No more children will be born with asthma. Would you not consider that a form of eugenics?
yeah,
If,
that would definitely be
no,
eugenic.
how would that?
If you
No,
didn't allow people to reproduce with asthma,
no. Wouldn't you? If we were to use CRISPR, like DNA, like that, like you're allowed, like you're altering DNA,
oh, okay, I got what you're
right?
saying.
Yeah,
While they're in like I'm not sure exactly, but let's imagine a world,
you're just talking about
because
a
this
treatment.
might be CRISPR or not, right? Let's just imagine a world where sperm meets an egg, and during that time, you're able to alter the DNA of the
You're
newborn.
talking about a treatment. If it's a simple treatment, that's fine. I think we should be very careful when we're talking about altering the DNA of a child. I think actually, I actually wouldn't maybe be against it. Now, the more I think about it, I'd say maybe we wait until they're 18, or maybe younger, maybe like in their teens, because I think younger people can consent to things.
Hold on.
Hot take. Hold on. Let me
From my
hold on.
understanding,
Before you told me on, let me finish my point. Then you can respond. I'm saying that like uh, it would probably be best until we'll have some a level of conscious, especially if we're not dealing with something that's necessarily lethal, but we can also shoot before we start messing with people with DNA. It's a general rule of thumb. There might be exceptions that I can agree to, but as a general rule of thumb, if we're not like saving the life of a fetus, then we should probably not mess with their DNA in the womb. All right, go ahead.
So this all started based on a kid that pummeled his teacher over the Nintendo Switch. And so when Dream proposed the eugenics idea, I was mentioning what happens in Iceland where they're screening pregnancies for Down syndrome and then suggesting that they terminate the pregnancy, which has dropped the levels of Down syndrome in the country massively, like down to less than 1%. So like the question comes down to, is that ethical?
yeah, like people
we do
are.
that here.
I think eugenics is like a it's like a buzz term. It's a buzzword that's kind of like Nazi. Like I don't want to be a Nazi the same way as like I don't want to be a proponent of eugenics, right? And the reason why is because eugenics has been a tool in the past that's been used to as a tool for racism, right? And the reason that's wrong is because racism isn't an essentialist trait or it's a immutable characteristic, and it's not based on any ability. Versus the thing that I'm talking about is about ability, right? And it's about quality of life, meaning like the idea is even if you're born a poor person, that the chances of you having a quality of life is still pretty good. And there's nothing inherent about your poverty that's going to say that your life is going to be horrible. But even like the richest, I would imagine the richest people, even those people who have children that are like severely mentally ill or physically not mentally ill but deficient and physically deficient, like maybe frozen in place, muscle atrophy, like Lethe said, it's like even with money you can't even have a good life because of your physical capacity and mental capacity. And so it's like I think there is a substantive difference in the eugenics here. Am I wrong, Prime?
Pause on that for a second. I will come back to it. I just want to address what Waterkai was saying. Waterkai, you mentioned the Down syndrome. I'm okay for people screening for
All types
well,
of illnesses and things and
I
pregnancies.
think okay, just in general, in terms of like maternal care, there's a name for this. But like prenatal, yeah, prenatal care,
Yeah, prenatal.
yeah, prenatal care. I think we should have more prenatal care, and part of that would include screening, right, for diseases to catch them. There's some like ones that are fatal, right, to the baby, like I was saying previously, right. And if we can't treat those, we can't correct them, and most of the time we can't, right? Then I think it's perfectly reasonable for a person to decide to terminate the pregnancy. I think it's also reasonable for them to terminate the pregnancy for any reason that they want to, right? So if that reason includes that the child has Down syndrome, that's fine as well. I On the other end, though, I don't think that we would what would be eugenics to me would be if there was some sort of government mandate to say, oh, you have a pregnancy with Down syndrome. Okay, now that this pregnancy ends, right? Or just even if it's not like an absolute mandate, some sort of like encouragement from the government, right? Like the government should be providing the funds, because
So if it's not from the government,
hold
it's not
on.
eugenics, Prime?
Hold on. So the government should be providing funds for medical care in general, right? Medicare for all. But they shouldn't be putting pressure on people for their health decisions, right? Simply provide the facilities, but not be putting pressure, giving people the ability to do it themselves. So in general, I am for reproductive freedom, and that would include, like giving up a child for any particular reason.
Yeah, that would also. I mean, another form of eugenics that we practice in the U.S. is it's a reason why incest is illegal in every state. Like
That eugenics?
yeah, for sure.
I don't
Isn't
think
that
so.
not?
Have you
You
seen
just
that
said,
family?
didn't
Have
you
you
just
seen that
say
family that
incent?
speaks in barks?
A family
you
that
just-
speaks more.
Didn't you just say incentive, right? If a government incentivizes or pushes a group of people not to have not to have a child, that would be a form of eugenics. Did you not say that? Am I confused?
That's not the same thing as what I said. At least not what I meant. So when I said reproductive care, I meant like, oh, this person's already pregnant, and then they can decide what they do with like their bodies.
So if they prevent even the step before that, you wouldn't call that eugenics. If the intention is to prevent that pregnancy,
well,
because that's what it is.
It depends. Like if the government is sterilizing people, then yeah, I would say that would be eugenics as well.
But not banning. Like for example, if we
Yeah.
banned mentally ill people from having sex with each
Yeah,
other.
but then we could say that like it's eugenics to say that children can't have sex, right? Like the
eugenic.
government is putting
Exactly.
But that's not eugenics. See, that's the problem because we are brought in.
Oh, my bad. Prime, I'm sorry. It's only eugenics when the intent is to prevent said pregnancies from happening. Like the
which would be what
because
I just said.
because the intent from banning even in some states maybe first cousin sex or marriages is because they know that it's a super high increase likelihood of having.
It's not actually, but when
Wait, you're telling me that's not even a consideration in the law?
I'm saying people might think that, but I'm just like correcting you to say that it's not actually the case that like in terms of cousins that you have a significantly higher chance of
you're saying having sex with your first cousin doesn't increase the chances?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or barely increases the chances.
I'm gonna see.
Go ahead.
It's pretty negligible.
Remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You have to remember who you're talking to. It probably does have some positions of increase, but maybe
it has some. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Remember who you're
That's
talking
why
to.
I said significant. I said significant.
Significant is too arbitrary to me to use.
Oh, I know. That's what we're talking to. Yeah, we're talking to you.
I mean,
but
I want to know
at
what
least
significant means to you.
I don't think first cousin is usually a part of the law. I don't think the law necessarily applies to cousins.
I think some states do have first cousins. That's
I was
right.
about to say, well, at least generally, what it seems to point to is mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, and grandparent. I guess for
and to be clear, what I think, and I've said this before, right? I wouldn't ban brothers and sisters from having kids. I wouldn't actually do that.
I'm not saying I would either. I'm just saying if you do with the intent to prevent like mentally disabled children from getting born, I would call that eugenics. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think it is.
I don't. I think you're because so like I asked you this before, and so I'll try it again. Like like banning children from having sex in general, right? Whether related or not, banning children from having sex, is that eugenics?
I would say no. Yeah. I would say no. The reason why is because I don't think the intent is to prevent a certain type of child from being born. I think the intent is to say they don't want irresponsible people or people that cannot take care of people to get born or to be responsible for birth.
It's probably just protecting children generally.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
children,
well, then,
they don't want.
If that's the case, if those are the bounds that you are stating for eugenics, then I can tentatively agree with that. Then Because my problem is, and the thing I'm going to push back on is that I don't want the um I don't want the term eugenics to be watered down before, oh, it can mean anything there, right? So I want it to be a bit more specific because it is an important concept and it needs to actually mean something.
Right.
But if you're narrowing it down in that sense, then I tentatively agree.
Yeah, I think like in general, I would imagine people consider eugenics as a concerted effort to remove a certain type of population from the gene pool or from a certain type of population in general, right? That's what I would imagine eugenics would be.
Mm. I mean,
They-
From existence
yeah.
in a certain area at least.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing though, because uh, because eugenics has like,
Negative connotation.
yeah, but because it has a history, it's not even negative connotations. The absolute history it has of
Yeah.
destruction of society.
The
There's no
negative connotation
reason.
comes from the history. Yeah, just like
Yeah,
nega.
dude,
Yeah.
please, you don't have to explain that to me. Because it has its place in history. There's literally no reason to even use this term. If
What's a
that's
replacement term?
hold on. Fuck. Let me finish my words, and then you can interject. I love to hear what you have to say after I'm done talking. You don't have to interrupt me every single time. Um. So. Fuck. Because it has its place in history, there's no reason to use that term. It has a very specific meaning, and I think it only muddies the conversation. If all you mean to say is that, hey, um, uh, it makes sense, that we have, in extreme cases, say that some people can't consent to these births, or to get pregnant or something along those lines. Right? There's a better definition for me to do this, but like, but I have a very narrow, very confined view of when the government should be able to at all regulate what people do between each other. Then let's like come up with terminology for that rather than use eugenics, because that it just makes the conversation like versus like no reason to say that, right? The moment you're saying, well, you're pro eugenics, well then now we're having this useless talk. Then if you're not, um oh, and also, and the last thing I'll say is that when it comes to eugenics, there's a reason why people have that kind of reaction, um and that's because like, um beyond the history, it's that like the moment you say the government can regulate, then it gives them permission to increase that regulation to disastrous means, right? And so like whatever it is, it has to be utterly constrained. And if it's that constrained, just call it something else so we can get to the heart of the issue, the heart of the debate. Now I'm done.
Yeah, I think in this conversation kind of like goes along your testimony right now. I think we had a pretty understanding conversation about eugenics the way we just now had that conversation, and you understood what I meant, and you understood the message, and the message got through, and we came to an understanding. So I think, I understand what you're saying. People are hearing this term as jarring, but I just want to have this conversation with those people that are like unreasonable or bad faith, or I just want to have this conversation with them.
So obviously I fell asleep. I was asleep, woke up, came in. That's why I'm late. What did I just join in on hearing the word eugenics?
Now you good.
It's all right.
We
We
want to
good.
know wants to exterminate babies. That's what he said. He wants to exterminate all of them. Specifically the tall. Any ones that are tall, they're going to be taller than him when they grow up. He wants them to die.
I'm actually anti.
He specifically talked about you, Razor. You being so goddamn tall, it was a problem for him. That's the source of his bigotry.
Wipe you out.
Yeah, I'm actually anti-natalist. Yeah. No more newborns.
Yeah. Well, the tall ones, especially. Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah.
Especially ones that are like predicted to have nicknamed on their online persona as Razor Sharp G. Especially those.
Well, us tall people are already an endangered species. Razor and I are in the top 1% of height in this world. That
How
is
tall are
unfair.
you? Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm six,
You told us you were super tall. Well, how tall are you again?
6'4".
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's unfair.
So like
we already have joint issues.
Kai looks tall. I knew Kai was tall. I remember I thought you were tall. You surprised me. Razor doesn't look tall, but he surprised me. The person who surprised me the most, and I kind of still don't believe him, is golly, Reverie talks the most.
Gibbs?
Smooth.
No, Reverie.
Oh, Reverie. Oh, Scott or
Yeah,
Scott
Scott.
tall. He's
You've seen him?
No,
He-
Scott said he's like 6'6" or something like that, and I'm like,
No,
I thought that
he's-
nigga is
he's
5'7"
6'3".
at most.
No, he's 6'3". He's like 6'3".
Nah,
no, he said he was bigger than that.
No, no. He's okay.
Libertarians are
It's
really
He
bad
either
told me
math,
6'5" or
so-
6'6".
it's no.
Libertarians
It's
are really
one of
bad at
these.
math, so whatever the number is probably lower.
It's one of it's one of these. Like because I think Doobie is like 6'3". I think Doobie is 6'3", right? And Doobie
Okay.
thinks that his height is the perfect height. And so he says if you're 6'2" or 6'4", then there's something wrong with you. Like Scott is one of those. He's either slightly taller than Doobie or slightly shorter than Doobie. So he's one of those heights. Because if Doobie's 6'3", then I know he's an inch off, one way or the other. I forget
Well,
which one, but it's not 6'6".
I'm taller than 95% of the world. So
I mean, I'm above average. That's all I can work with. But yeah, everyone lies about the height, but I think he said 6'5". And now that I'm thinking about it, but maybe 6'4". But I don't believe that. Like I'm like Scott looks
5'7".
like 5'7", yeah, 5'8".
But he acts like he's 5'2".
Yeah.
Damn.
Like I said, libertarians are bad at math.
Oh,
Nah.
I put my top dollar, I guess.
I don't know why you guys make like the reason why I thought Waterkai was shorter than apparently he is. Is that he it's just because of his camera, right? And like the way
Look at his neck.
he's filmed himself.
He's got
right?
tall neck.
But it's nothing about his personality, right? Like I don't think he had bullying complex. Is that what you guys are going for? Like Kai's great person all around.
Small
I don't
body,
know. And with a Razor, I didn't think he was as tall as he was, but again, it had nothing to do with like his personality. So then, why do you
That
guys think that
actually
about? What? Sorry.
I'm just going by Nick.
That actually does. Some of the personality actually can definitely give off the air of what their actual height is if you never see them like in person.
Definitely not.
Specific.
Yeah.
It can't give off that. It can't give off that energy. Like for me, the reason why people usually think that I'm tall whenever they hear my voice or they see me on camera like this, where I'm just sitting, the energy I give off is small because I have that kindness about me. It's like someone that big and scary can't be this nice, and it's like it literally is like that. Like I've seen people just like, you're so fucking massive. Why are you this nice? You could kill people with your size. I'm like, that's why I don't wanna. Gentle giants always give off the air that they're smaller than they are.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I know people from different heights that feel different ways, but I get what you're saying. Like I said, the thing to me is neck. Like tall people have like longer necks because it usually means they have longer appendages. It like all flows together. And Kai's got tall neck.
What the fuck?
It's true. It's
I
just
don't know
a
if I
fact.
should
And
be
Scott,
insulted or flattered.
it's all right. You got a long neck. Scott doesn't have a long neck, so I was like, Scott didn't come off as like.
But then again, Scott, like usually, like his camera is positioned in weird ways.
You can tell.
I don't know.
Like I said, but he still could be. He just would be an exception to the general rule. Did any of y'all hear any of Trump's press conference today?
I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, and it was.
I heard some
painful.
of it.
It's
heard a couple of
strange.
things.
It's strange hearing like it's strange hearing one where the Republican Party is and like his narcissism flow so freely. Like he was saying that, he was going campaigning in states like Wyoming and Republican states that he's already winning in, and he was saying the senators and Congress people should be thanking him because he has no reason to go there. He's like, I'm already winning. I'm winning by big record numbers. Like I have no reason for even showing up there. I'm just doing charity, and that's such a strange thing to say because like this is narcissism because if you win and you saying that you have no interest in having in what Congress people win or what senators win, you can't do anything. And like it's just I don't know. It's just interesting to hear that. Like it feels so antithetical to the concept of a party. Like Trump doesn't give a f about the
Yeah.
Republican Party.
This is not this is news to
And the
you?
Republican Party is definitely planning around that. They know about his narcissism. They know how uncontrollable he truly is, but they also know how to somehow control that uncontrollability by playing into the narcissism, which is what Project 2025 is actually how it's supposed to work. You have JD Vance who JD Vance in there who's obviously gonna be working it the best way he can. And the way that's done, it's going to play into his narcissism. Like they'll give him a policy proposal and say this will make you more popular. He'll go, "Oh, it's awesome," and then he'll do it because he wants all the attention and
Well, yeah,
popularity.
he signed anything
No
that
matter
gets
how
to his
bad it is.
desk, but I just don't think. I think the Democrats should lean into Project 2025. But as far as I like actually care about it as real policy, no, I don't think it's Trump's actual policy because I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't.
Trump has actual policy. I think he just wants to
Well,
win.
he has said he
He said he's
condemns
dissing
or
himself. Yeah.
he says he's distanced himself from it, but whilst taking private jet flights with the creator of it, and having most of his team
Oh,
working on it. So
well, he yeah.
Well,
I've chat GPT'd it and it says he's publicly distanced himself on multiple occasions. But he has praised the Heritage Foundation on multiple occasions. So
well, the question is, how do you
Yeah.
trust a liar? So he said he's divested from anything having to do with that, and he's threatened
no, you're right.
legal
Yeah.
action against anyone who says they're connected with the Trump campaign. But he's also a liar. So at the same time, we don't know which is true. But the fact that 2/3 of his cabinet were the people that penned this over 900-page document lets you know that there's something up.
But
Like
I
in
don't think he's
itself.
lying. I just don't think he doesn't. I don't think he cares. Now, if like say, if they can get the legislation to his desk, he'll sign it. But I'm just saying that like I don't think he has a strong interest in what policies pass. He just wants to be president.
You're right.
he wants
You're right.
he wants schedule
Whichever
F,
will
he
get
wants
him passed.
schedule F. He does want Schedule F to be put back into place. Biden got rid of that the moment he got back into office. Trump had that at the last year of his first term.
I
This Schedule F, I hate when people do that.
I just genuinely don't think you could possibly be pro-American while also be like in a Heritage Foundation and like believe in everything in 2025, Project 2025, because they're literally trying to make this nation like a Christian
A
nationalist nation.
theocracy, yeah. They're trying to make it a theocracy, yes.
Well, they believe it
There's
was
no
always
other
that
way
way.
to word it.
So you
Yeah.
ask them. The other thing that's
Yeah, freedom of
strange,
religion.
the other thing that's strange is the idea like the gall they have to go after Tim Walz as go against his like service in the military. The man did 24 years, and the fact that he retired around the time of the Iraq War means that he's like a fake veteran. When Donald Trump dodged the draft
stupid.
like 4 times, like it just like I'm like this is not the direction you want to go. Like why would this be the direction? Why would you
So, yeah.
shit on veterans? A
Yeah,
24-year
you're gonna
veteran.
have a lot of
Yeah.
Republican veterans
24
because
years
of
in
that.
the National Guard, the Iraq War was coming around, and at the exact same time that they were trying to say, "Hey, we're going to send you out to Iraq," he was saying, "Hey, I want to go into a politician work. I'm going to be running a campaign." So he quit at the exact same time
But
that he was running.
it's even worse. No, it's even worse than that because he basically quit. I don't remember the year. But he quit in like May of that year,
2005.
and like basically they were going to send him on another tour, right?
Yeah.
And the tour I think it started like this timeline. Some like it like started in September, and then it would have his contract ended in October, like whatever they call it for the military, but his contract with the military ended October. He'd have to re-enlist, right? He'd have to re-enlist to go on that tour, and he doesn't want to do like another full how was it 4 years or however long that
4 to
is,
6
right?
is usually the contract.
Yeah, 46. So he didn't want to do another 4 years. So he's like, okay, well it's May. I'm going to terminate my contract now, and then I'm going to go out and do a politician
And run
thing.
for
Like it's
office.
like a completely reasonable decision, especially after
Yeah.
like decades within the military.
Yeah,
And
he could have retired
then
at 20. Like he
Yeah.
did extra. Like at 20, you've earned your full pay forever. Like
yeah,
like he just did 4 more. He did,
yeah.
So
And then this is
uh,
this is from Bone Spurs Trump, right?
Mhm.
Who dodged the draft, Like
Who called
I-
POWs losers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have got caught. Like
Yeah.
these
He
are the
called-
people you're gonna talk about. Like
He
Walls is
also
losers.
he also said he wouldn't. He also said that he doesn't want to hang out with veterans because or amputees because that will make him look bad.
Hey, Don Champlin,
So-
thank you for gifting a sub. I hope you're doing well. Yeah.
But yeah, for for Walls, 24 for the 24 years and everything, he would have retired with the title of Sergeant Major Corporal. What was the term? What was the full one?
Major
It's like
Sergeant
the
is
highest
what,
rank you could get.
well, Major Sergeant is what I believe is what he did get with.
The highest
like,
rank you
leave
can
with.
get is I think Major General or something like that.
No, not that. No.
Major
No. There's a category of soldier that you can that Razor's referring to, and at the top of that there is a top title.
Sergeant
and I
Major
don't know what it
General, I
is.
think was the term. But
not
it's like
general.
the
His
highest
title
rank
didn't
you.
involve general, but
It's
I
not
understand what
general.
you're saying.
Or yeah, the Sergeant Major
It is.
something. But
It's general.
it was like
It's
the
not
highest.
general. Fuck, not what he's talking.
But it
about.
was
No,
like
I'm-
the highest rank he could get at the time. When he left, he had the rank. He left, but because of some paperwork nonsense, they removed the rank. But he had it. But because so there's this one fucking weirdo who hates him now because he was part of his battalion, who's just pushing this narrative of he lied, he left us to Iraq. And it's like,
Yeah,
he
they're
had the
saying that
right to.
They saying so. My understanding, I don't know the exact ranks because I don't know the military like that. But basically, my understanding of the story is that Walls is saying, has said that I achieved this rank when I left, right?
Yeah.
But then, like what Razor said, there was some paperwork or some nonsense that happened. And
That's
so
the
like
sergeant-
it was
that's the major.
retracted. But he was
Yeah.
in he actually had the title, but like yes, it was taken away from him, but only because of a paperwork issue. And now they're pretending, oh, he's doing stolen valor and he's lying about his record. It's like, no. I mean,
There's
you guys can try
fact
this,
that
but
the fact that they're attacking him and saying he has stolen valor after 24 years in service, almost every veteran's gonna look at that and go, "Oh, am I stolen valor then? Fuck you."
No, I think they should keep doing that. I mean, it's a good messaging, a good strategy on them. Keep it up. I think it'll work out for them.
Command
better
Sergeant
than the horse-
Major, that's the position.
It's
That's
better
what
than the
it is.
horse semen thing that they're doing on.
I mean,
Atlas.
I think
That was just out of nowhere. Like at least with the couch fucking thing on JD Vance, we can point to Hillbilly Elegy.
they should. I think he should come out and say the so-called party of veterans or like veteran respect or like the party that puts veterans on such a high pedestal and however I'm not framing it really well, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
They're like questioning my service and that's like unacceptable, or like you should just play on it like to kind of like show the hypocrisy and contradictions they
The
make.
party that claims to be pro
themselves, yeah.
troops.
Yeah.
Just keep calling them
is
weird. Just keep
now-
calling them weird. Yeah.
now attacking me
Working.
over my military service,
My
exemplary
service.
service. I'd be happy to put my military service against anyone else's, including JD Vance, who was part of the military, but as like a press secretary or something. Like he was in some sort of a like he wasn't. In any
I
sort of
wouldn't go against Vance's just because Vance is a Marine. The Marines are seen differently. Even if you don't see combat, being a Marine is different from that part. But I would say compared to Trump,
guys. The reason I said that is because Vance is attacking him. So if Vance wants to, he's like literally putting up his record against his. I would say if I was Walls, absolutely can't wait to do it, right? Because mine is going to be received better than yours.
More substantial.
It's simply
Yeah.
that. It's simply the case, right? I actually was in combat roles. I was doing this for years, right? And I served multiple tours. So
No,
putting
you
that
didn't.
against the person who didn't see combat, yeah, it's gonna obviously be better. That might not be fair to Vance, but if he's going to come for the fight, well, then he should suffer it.
That's not true though. Like neither one of them ever seen combat, but Walls never did a tour. That's the thing. He never did an active tour. That's what I'm saying. Like I would just say I respect all veterans. I wouldn't try to go tit for tat with JD Vance's.
Yeah, that's a good one. The message should be unity. You're right.
Yeah, like it would
Yep,
be like,
which
you
is
know,
what
like
the
JD
world is
Vance served his
probably
country. I served my country. I can't believe another veteran would ever like
Disrespect another person under the same
you
moniker.
know,
Yeah,
people die for, you know, like
a
people
fellow brother in arms.
I was about to say, but then I would bring up the fact that Trump, like, you know, like I was, you know, literally dodged the draft like I think 4 times.
Yeah,
Like
4 times.
his name came up.
All with fake different medical thing, the bone spurs. I think they get switch foot 2 different times.
Wait.
Wow.
It's demonstrated. It's fake. It's actually fake. It's been
The bone
demonstrable.
spurs?
What?
Like it's been
Oh, I don't know if
demonstrated.
it's demonstrated fake, but I know that he was drafted. He was supposed to go into the military. Like he was drafted in, and he found reasons not to go. I don't know if it's fake or not.
No,
But
it
Yeah.
was fake. Yeah, so
I believe.
he.
I believe
I'm
they
just talking
were
about if
fake.
we
The
have
bone
like
spurs
proof
were
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold on.
it's been demonstrated.
So
for sure.
hold on,
Wow.
hold on, stop,
The
hold
way
on,
that he
hold on,
acts.
hold on. Let me say it, and then you can understand. So when it comes to Trump, Trump got out by saying that he had bone spurs on his foot.
Which
Well,
I like.
obviously, bone spurs on his foot that would make him
Heel.
ineligible. Hold on his make him ineligible. Let me just say it right. So, that would make him ineligible. When asked about this, they're like, oh, well, did you ever get he said, oh, which they asked him, which foot was it? And he's like, oh yeah, I can't remember. There's no evidence that Trump actually had these bone spurs. Bone spurs was a common excuse not to dodge the draft, especially under uh, 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 children of wealthy individuals who could get a doctor to say that they had them. Right, so there's no reason to believe it. But in terms of like a positive like proof, in that like there's an X-ray that showed that his foot never had it. No, there's no way we could ever get that. But there seems to be zero evidence that he did have it.
But he's oh yeah, and I was reading. He's basically he said I wasn't going to Vietnam, and then like yeah, the doctor requested proof, and he wasn't able to provide it. And like under oath, he said he finished the conversation with the following statement: "You think I'm stupid? I'm not going to Vietnam." So I mean, it does. I mean, it seems that like yeah, he was gonna. He was just lying. He just didn't. He just wasn't going to the war. Which honestly, after draft, I'm not gonna pretend that like if I could have potentially avoided. Actually, I kind of love. I have a. I take authority really really well. So I probably actually would have went to the military. Possibly died, unfortunately. But I understand the concept of somebody not wanting to go off to the Vietnam War.
Especially when you're rich. Like, why would you want to take the chance of dying when you know your future is pretty much set?
When I can be
Like,
president of the United States and no one's gonna care, and I can talk about POWs.
It wasn't also with Vance, wasn't his thing just that he was a journalist? That's about
Mhm.
it. Like
Yeah,
like
I mean, you
actually
say
anything.
just, but the man was still a Marine. I'm not because I even not even getting like all patriotic. I respect the Marines. The basic training is enough for me to respect it. Like, oh, okay, you're a little bit different.
Based on how he acts, he loses my respect, even if he is a Marine.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
At least like with him, it makes that funny acronym that they use make a lot more sense.
All right. Does there anything else you guys want to talk about? Or we want to jump into the topic.
I don't know. I was gonna bring up the other thing I mentioned, but we can if you could say like, not really. It's not doesn't really fit this crowd with the Jonathan Majors, or not really. It's on you.
I mean, if you
I
guys
do
want
feel some kind of way about
That's not
that.
major. I did want to say something about like the most recent thing in Kamala's one of Kamala's more recent rallies in Michigan. When the pro Palestine protesters. Did you hear about this or no?
That's like a nothing burger. There's nothing to talk about there.
I know. Well, there's a small bit to talk about.
Oh,
because
sorry.
it's
What was
actually...
what was that? Razor? I didn't hear it.
So, in Michigan, she was doing her rally. She was giving her speech. And there were pro-Palestine protesters there.
Yeah, and
For
she
some
she
reason.
tried to shift them. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so that's what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
she can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. Today I decided I wasn't going to vote for Kamala Harris either. Um,
Wait
uh,
a minute. Based on
Okay,
what?
no. Let me. No,
Were
yeah,
you
I was about to
I'll
get
tell
misinformed?
there.
you. I'll
I
tell
was
you.
about to get somewhere. I was about to get
Okay.
there to the point that makes it to where you need to understand what happened with this. It's
Wait,
the
I
fact
just
that
want to
she.
wait before you tell him. I want to hear him to give his reason to see if he's misinformed or not.
I'm not
Okay, there
misinformed.
you go.
So,
So,
actually, we'll find out. We'll find out.
mhm.
Because her on her team, she has a Middle East expert. I don't know what the title is, right? Consultant. I don't know, but she's part of a campaign team. And then he tweets, and he specifically says that Vice President Harris the will be supporting us when asked about like a weapons embargo. And they will provide all like full support for Israel. But we still have concerns. We'll still fight for the people of Gaza. I don't have the exact statement in front of me, but like it was along those lines.
Wait,
That signals to me. That signals to me that she. I mean, clearly, she's not going to go for weapons embargo. Is the only thing that matters. The only thing that'll stop the conflict. If she's not doing that, well then, well, I don't give a fuck.
wait a minute. So if there's a ceasefire
So
next
I.
week, if she doesn't do it with
So
weapons embargo, you're not voting
Hold
for
on,
her.
hold on. What is
So-
this? Hold on, no, stop, Razor. How would you get that ceasefire? What does that mean?
I mean, they've been in talks for months.
No, yeah, I
don't
know
need
they
weapons
have been in
embargo to
talks
get
for months
ceasefire.
because see, Bam, you don't know what you're talking about here.
I do know
So
what I'm talking
they've been in talks for months
What is it?
because Biden successfully managed to change the conversation to before he didn't even want to have a ceasefire discussion. If you remember that months ago, right? Like no talk of ceasefire. No one's so no one in the Democratic Party even mentioned the term ceasefire because we're not going to have a ceasefire. And then he says, "Oh, now we're beginning negotiations for a ceasefire." When with a party, right, with the Netanyahu government, who says specifically, "We don't want a ceasefire. We're not going to have a ceasefire." And then, their own negotiating team has been sabotaging ceasefire. And then Biden comes out and says, "Yeah, Netanyahu's been getting in the way of the ceasefire talks." So, if you're saying that what she's going to offer is continuing ceasefire talks, that means nothing's going to happen. The way that all the these conflicts, whenever the U.S. has stepped in the past, because we haven't always done this, right? But when the U.S. has stepped in the past, like famously with Ronald Reagan, is to say, "Hey, we're cutting off funding," and then that's it. That's the end. The Israel cannot prosecute the war without American weapons. So that's why the protesters have switched from talking about a ceasefire because that they've already taken over this language. Oh, well, we're doing ceasefire negotiations, right? And the protesters there weren't talking about a ceasefire. They were talking about a weapons embargo, and the weapons embargo stops the fire.
Okay. So if there's a ceasefire next week, are you voting for Kamala? No, if she doesn't do a weapons embargo. That was the question.
So you're asking if there's
So-
you're asking me you asked me a question. You're asking me if there is a public if they manage to
Achieve a ceasefire.
achieve a ceasefire independently, right? Well then
Without
the issue is resolved. And there's no reason for me to withhold a vote for an issue that's not even on the table. So then yeah.
Okay, because sometimes people get attached to away from like the thing they're actually working on solving, and they get attached to an idea versus like that's bigger than the solution. So that's
No,
why I was
you want
curious.
the
So-
genocide to stop. That's my only.
Okay, and
only
then if the
only
next
point.
day Hamas shoots like 2 million rockets,
Hamas can't do that, so that's
Hamas
weird.
would
but
be
if
the
they
last-
did,
but even if
you
they
would defend
could,
it.
but even if they could, that's no reason for genocide. That's no reason.
So-
Even the next day, if the response
what-
is to, if the response is to go back to literally starving the population to like bombing their water treatment centers like they're doing now, to do indiscriminate bombings within at civilians, right? And they'll just state, "Oh, there was a militant somewhere in the crowd," right? If that's the response, then no, there is no excuse for genocide. That's
Qu-
clear.
qu-
International.
Can I?
law.
Can you
no,
please?
no,
I need to
How?
do my
What?
thing
What
first.
definition are you
No, I'm
using?
sorry. Hey.
No, we're not
hey.
doing.
Hold on.
We
So
don't wanna do it.
yeah. Dream. What I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not gonna do a definition thing with you. I don't care. Whatever.
I'm not gonna disagree with it. I just want to
Whatever
know
you're
how
asking
you.
me, I don't. I'm not. No, I'm not even gonna answer your question.
You're not doing
Don't
the
ask
thing
me.
with me.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me because I'm not going to. Not gonna do it.
Do it
So
like
don't ask me.
fighting on the definition.
I'm not gonna fight it. I just want to know it.
We
No,
don't wanna
don't
do
worry
it.
about it.
That's weird.
Google
Just
it.
look it up yourself,
So
whatever it
let me.
is.
So
yeah, Google it. That's
Please
whatever.
go ahead. Yeah. because
So
I'm not
what
gonna
I
do
was
it.
trying to
dumbest
say
thing
earlier.
in the
What I was
world.
trying to say
hold on.
earlier.
Shut up.
What I
Hold
was
on.
trying to say
Hold on.
earlier.
Hey, Razor. Hold on. I'm not gonna do it with you. Knock it off and knock it off
Right,
the snide comments.
I'm not
Make it
talking to
very
you.
clear.
I wasn't
I'm
talking
not
to
gonna
you.
do it.
I
Thank you.
know that. I wasn't talking to you, Brian. I don't know why you're talking to me. I was talking to
Alright.
Razor.
Okay, so I do want to like bring up the point that I was trying to make earlier when I brought this up. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Obviously, of like you don't want to support someone who's supporting genocide, anything like that makes sense. I agree with you. It's awesome. Kamala obviously has long since said that she definitely supports a genocide. Just supports a ceasefire to this genocide. Um, uh, and before that Michigan rally, which is the thing that people keep missing, she spoke. I posted it into the group chat. She spoke with the what are they called? The uncommitted delegate movement leaders to talk about said embargoes and ceasefires, and actually say. And she said that when they get into power, she's completely open to everything that they are asking for, and she is having them constantly speak with her team.
I don't
Hold
think
So
she
on.
made
Let
that
me get
strong.
a close look at this. It says this in the link that you sent to us.
yes, Esker on Twitter posted this from Erica L. Green.
Okay.
Before the
I'm
rally in Detroit,
excited.
Vice President Kamala Harris spoke brief with the co-founders of the Uncommitted National Movement, which
Yeah.
mobilized tens of thousands of voters in Michigan to withhold their votes from President Biden in the primary earlier this year. Abis Aloe and Leah Elabed said they were in the welcoming
Good
line
work.
for Harris.
That was a
on the wall.
huge,
He tried. Y'all ain't,
huge
y'all ain't shit.
butchering.
Y'all are horrible
Of,
people. He
I-
tried.
oh my goodness.
He
I
really
tried.
stop. He really tried. Fuck y'all.
Oh my goodness. He just
Humble
that nigga said,
I'm sorry, Razor. Continue.
that nigga said,
You convince him
wow.
right now.
I know I
Convince him.
get cotton mouth right now, but
You good,
let me get more water.
Wow. Let me say
Yeah.
it for you just for the
Said they were
audience. Let me say it for you just for the audience. You know,
Abbas Alewe and Leah Alabed.
no.
Wait a minute.
Abbas, Alawiya, and Layla Alabed.
Look at
Wait a
that
minute, hold
nigga
on.
bringing up his
Hold on.
Muslim.
Hold on.
You bringing the Muslim out.
Sorry.
First
hold
of all,
on, I don't
that's the
care
air
about-
about.
Sorry, I don't care about this. The thing that you sent me, Razor, I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
Maybe
really
I'm
cool.
missing something. It's possible, right? But
I have another.
all of you sent me, unless there's something more. The only thing you've sent me is like the thing that I already knew, and the thing that literally doesn't make a difference in my head. So there was these individuals from there's an uncommitted delegation, right, and apparently some sort of organization, uncommitted national movement. So they were simply in the greeting line, right, when Kamala was doing her her rally, right? So they in that line they say, hey, like we've been trying to get a meeting with you forever, right? And we haven't been able to do so. We would like to support an arms embargo, and we'd like to have a meeting with you. So within that conversation, she doesn't say she supports an arms embargo or anything like that. She'll say, yes, we'll schedule a meeting, maybe. So she hasn't actually scheduled. Hold on. She hasn't actually scheduled a meeting, as far as I know. But this is my information. Now you can add to this if you have more information afterwards. But like, she hasn't actually scheduled a meeting. She hasn't agreed to any policy proposal whatsoever, and she hasn't put forth anything herself. So if that's all there is, then no, I don't find that convincing. Because then we can just do more I'm a supporter of more ceasefire negotiations. But go ahead. Do you have something more?
I would imagine being open
I
to
just
something
shared- I
doesn't
just
mean you have
shared
to
it.
do it. Or
Okay.
I just shared it in the chat again.
Okay.
Vice President Harris' campaign has issued a statement after her Detroit rally.
Yeah.
Prior to the rally, she met with the supporters for the Palestinian cause from the group Uncommitted National Movement. At the rally, she faced some protests from supporters for the cause. Here's the statement: since October 7th, the vice president has prioritized engaging with Arab, Muslim, and Palestinian community members and others regarding the war in Gaza. In this brief engagement, she affirmed that her campaign will continue to engage with those communities. The vice president has been clear. She will always ensure Israel is able to defend itself against Iran and Iran-backed terrorist groups. The vice president. I know that first part is keep in mind. I will make my point on this when I
Okay,
finish.
I'll wait for you to
President
finish, my
is
friend.
focused on securing the ceasefire and hostage deal currently on the table, and as she has said, it is time for the war to end in every way. Israel is secure, hostages are released, suffering of Palestinian civilians ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, freedom, and self-determination.
Okay, what do you think this
So
means?
she is for the
Razor?
Palestinians. She does want to help the Palestinians, but she is still at the same time running for the president of an America that is very pro-Israel.
No, it's
I'm
not.
just
No, it's not. Hold
fabulous
on. No, it's not.
impressed.
No, it's not. I'm not gonna let you let that lie. In terms of an arms embargo that was polled,
Keep in mind
52% of Americans in general support it. 62% of Democrats support it. That's already and asked if a genocide is happening. I believe the number is like 78%, but don't quote me on that. I might be wrong on that. But it's like something ridiculously high on that margin. So don't give me the Americans vastly pro-Israel. That's actually not the case. That's actually not. You're wrong on that.
She's
on
also
the
trying to
numbers.
keep AIPAC off her back.
That's a different. Oh, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. Yeah, the money says differently. Obviously, right?
I don't think AIPAC has been donating to her at all. I'm saying they would do. I'm saying AIPAC will use whatever money they have to go
Yeah,
against.
I understand.
Trump got plenty of money.
I understand that. Whatever. I get that. Yes, when it comes to the donors, and how they will move, right, and the opposition she will face. That's what she's worried about. But what she needs to be afraid of is her voters, and that's why I support those protesters who interrupted her, because they're putting pressure on her, because that's the only way she's ever going to budge on this. So let's go back to this statement, right? The statement that you said provides hope, right? On this, right? So she said. She reaffirmed that her campaign will continue to engage with those communities, right? So by that, she'll listen to their tweets. Maybe she'll meet with them, right? Biden met with these people too, right? He had meetings with these individuals, and then he's like, yeah, nothing's going to change in terms of policy. Nothing, literally nothing. And in fact, I feel offended.
Biden wasn't for a ceasefire, was he?
Oh my God! Like he's he's for ceasefire negotiations. He's for ceasefire negotiations.
That's just a straight ceasefire. The negotiations are on the hostages and I believe aid. I believe and also the embargo. Like I understand the embargo is definitely up for debate.
Hold on. Sorry, hold on. Razor, what do you think I'm saying when I say ceasefire? What do you think I'm saying?
Complete stop to the weapons being used on the Palestinians.
Don't do this definition thing with him, bro, Razor. He doesn't want it.
You're the one that's annoying with this. Stop it.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
I know. That's why I cut it out.
Let's make a bet, Prime.
Hold on. Wait a second. No, wait a second.
Still doing
Razor.
this thing? Okay.
I'm doing this Razor now. We had your turn. Well, I'll come back to you later. Razor.
Yes.
How do we get a ceasefire?
The weapons embargo would definitely help with that. Yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. Of course, the way I said it will absolutely end the hostilities. However, if you ask the Biden administration, right, they'll say they're in favor of a ceasefire. Now, what does that mean from them?
For Biden himself, who is like an uber Zionist, I don't really know what that means from him.
Biden is an uber Zionist.
Yeah. Okay, great. So,
but he does everything for Israel that he possibly can.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let me help you out with that, right? What that means is, and what it has meant in actual action, is that the United States will continue the talks, right? Like the two-party, just like the two-state solution talks. They've been doing for decades, right? In which the United States is a staunch ally for Israel, and Israel sets the terms of the debate, and then the Palestinians kind of have to accept whatever is proposed to them. That's a framework that's been copied here. So we have a side, right? A belligerent genocidal side. That would be the Israelis, right? Who are actively bombing the Palestinians. And the Israeli leadership has made it clear in their statements, that we do not want a ceasefire. We have no interest in a ceasefire. They made it clear in their statements directly, we don't want a ceasefire. And then the Biden administration, to get criticism off their backs, they'll say, well, we're engaged in ceasefire negotiations. One party, right, the party we actually have control over, says that they don't want to do it. And we know they've sabotaged it. Biden has admitted so as much within press conferences that Netanyahu specifically has been sabotaging these conversations, right? But we're having the negotiations. And so now we can say, well, we're for a ceasefire. We're for a ceasefire. So when I'm looking at this statement, right, and Vice President Harris says she will continue to engage with the communities. Okay, status quo, meaning yes, we'll admit that Palestinian Americans exist. Great, right? And the Vice President has been clear. She will always work to ensure Israel is able to defend itself against Iran-backed terrorist groups, right? Well, Hamas is Iran backed, right? So
Also Israel
there's that,
backed.
right? And so they'll definitely need weapons. We'll have to keep sending them weapons, because we got to defend it from Iran. Israel right now, who's the belligerent, who actively bombed Lebanon, who actively bombed Iran, right, for an assassination attempt, actively leading us to war. Well, I mean, Iran might actually respond back. So, of course, we got to give Israel more weapons. And if they happen to use those weapons for genocide, well, that's too bad. That's too bad. So, the vice president's focused on securing the ceasefire. That means continuing with the negotiations so far, because if you're not going to stop the weapons, then the Israelis said they're not going to stop the slaughter. Well, that means you're for the slaughter. That means you're going to provide the weapons for the slaughter. But she's committed to the ceasefire. We'll keep talking. And hostage deal currently on the table that the Israelis have been undermining ever since the start of it. As she has said, it's time for the war to end in a way where Israel is secure, hostages are released, the suffering of the Palestinians ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, freedom, and self-determination. Basically, thank you for that, Razor. I appreciate it. So anyway, you wanted to sorry, I'll let you respond, Razor. If you want to say something back to me, then Bam can make that bet.
So the reason why I'm willing to be a little bit more optimistic and hope-filled on this is that the pick of Tim Walz let people know that she and the Democratic Party are starting to move more towards actually fucking listening to what the American people do want. So if the American people do want these ceasefires and embargoes, which it appears so if we're looking at the numbers, by so far showing that they are actually listening, I do believe that the ceasefire talks will actually go towards we're going to do a ceasefire. Same with the embargo, like they'll actually listen, and once a good plan of how to get that implemented, because it can't just be a night and day thing.
Of course it can.
Enough.
No,
I don't know why.
100%. No, don't say that.
I don't know why. It's super weird. It's like
no, you don't know why, because it doesn't exist. Like, there's no reason why the U.S. right now, if Biden said right now that we're cutting off weapons to Israel, there'll be no further support, then they can't prosecute the war anymore. They literally don't have the military capacity to do so. It's purely just like for the slaughter, and we're gonna blame Obama for this. Fuck you, Obama. Just like the slaughter in Yemen that was prosecuted by the Saudis, right, for years. Right? Saudi Arabia doesn't have the military infrastructure to do that. That was purely because Obama provided them with those weapons, and then Trump continued on with his policies. So when that war could have ended, it didn't even have to begin. Obama didn't have to authorize it in the first place, but that war could have ended with Obama. But it didn't. And so, in the same case where Israel does not have the military capacity, the U.S. president absolutely, positively has the power to end this.
And my next thing was, do you think the thing I was going to say about Harris is Do you think that her snubbing of Netanyahu has any any symbolism that she is willing to say fuck you, I'm not listening to you, I'm going to do what's best for what the American people want?
I don't think
Snubbing
Trump
of
cares about that.
Netanyahu. Let's talk
She
about
didn't
that
show up at
clearly.
his thing. She didn't
Yeah.
show up at his little speech, and I think like she ended up speaking with him face to face and saying, "We're going to get this. We're going to do the thing," and that's
We're
why
going
he's
to do
extra
what
pissy and
thing?
why he wants Trump.
We're going to do what
We're
thing?
going to do the ceasefire. Like you're not. We are going to get a ceasefire. Like she's
Uh,
like it's not just a straight up negotiation. She's saying I want a ceasefire, and like she said, we're not going to listen to you anymore.
I'm not sure
'cause you're
exactly.
screwing everything.
She said that. If you can find me a
Not
quote.
those exact words, but something along those lines.
Yeah, not the exact words. Yeah, let's be clear about that. Not
I
those
think
exact
the-
words or
I think
anything.
it's the
I don't think we
conflict has
actually
to
had
end
any
is the
reporting
closest to the
on
exact
exactly
words.
what she said. We just had rumors.
Yeah, the conflict has to end.
So, the conflict. Oh, of course, we need good things and we need less bad things. The conflict has to end. How will the conflict end? Well, then I hold on.
For her language.
Oh, dude,
it's annoying.
No,
I know,
dude, it's. So hold on. You're saying that like I should in imaginary world, when all power, and by power I mean the donors, right? I mean the Democratic Party. I mean the military industrial complex, right? When all power is arrayed to encourage Kamala Harris, right, to continue what she's doing, right? I should hope that when she slightly softens the language of the Biden administration, that is enough of a signal to tell me that she's going to change her tact when she's in office. No, actually, Razor, that isn't enough. That actually is enough because power will not concede anything with demand. It simply won't happen, right? And so there is no demand on the other side. There's no pressure. Then there won't be a change. So okay. So then, but you asked specifically about the Netanyahu appearances. All right. Netanyahu came. Almost no Democrats showed up, right? It wasn't like a big brave thing that Kamala Harris didn't show up. She didn't want to be seen because she knew it was going to be a PR nightmare if she's seen there in general, right? And so instead, she, which is fine. I like the fact that she felt that felt embarrassing to her because that is a good sign in and of itself. Okay, but then she meets with him afterwards, right? And what I'm interested in is how Netanyahu's side reacted to this, because she goes there and then afterwards she comes out with this statement, this harsh statement about like Netanyahu. I forget exactly what she said, but the point is it was like a harsh statement that a lot of people on my side, including me, took some heart in. But the Netanyahu side acted a little weird here, right? Because they were shocked. They said, yeah, we had a meeting and it was perfectly cordial. They thought like things were going well for our side. When we walked away from that meeting and we were happy with whatever happened in there. We don't know because there was no transcript was released. We were happy. And then they were shocked when she goes in front of the cameras and then starts harshly criticizing Netanyahu. So what it sounds like to me is that in front of the cameras, she knows enough to make noises that Israel bad. Netanyahu, well, not Israel bad, she wouldn't say that, right? Netanyahu's a bad guy because now Democrats feel brave enough to criticize him specifically. Not the IDF, not the Israeli leadership, none of that. She can do that much, right? She can yell at Netanyahu, and Netanyahu's the bad apple, right? He's the bad cop in a police department full of angels, right? So she can do that. But when she's up to his face, all right, and actually talking to him and actually negotiating with him or whatever was happening in there, right? No, she was a kitten, right? She was fine with whatever was said, and the Israelis were ecstatic. So no, actually, that doesn't give me hope.
Is there a chance they're lying? That they were shocked?
The Netanyahu team? I mean, I guess that's a possibility.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's in order to make her look bad.
Well, then she needs to let us know, because I'm a voter. Happen to be in a state where it matters. I'm a voter, and I need to be convinced. And so you gotta give me more. If you can't do that when 62% of Democrats are firmly on your side, right? And when I think it's like 78%. I don't know the exact number. I need to look it up. I don't have it on me right now. But like 70% think it's a genocide that's happening currently. If you can't do that now, Oh, then I don't know. I don't know when you have something at risk. When you want something from me. When she
When-
doesn't need something from me, when she's already in office, I have no reason to believe that anything's going to change. Zero.
I mean,
I think
you're in
you
New York.
misinformed
Sorry?
on I think you misinformed on how the meetings went because
Okay.
I've looked at like 4 sources on
Okay.
the meeting. I've like it seems that Netanyahu's team says that the meeting with Biden was fine. He was like, but they say that all of them have negative things to speak about the meeting with Harris. If anything, Netanyahu's official statement was Kamala Harris's the way her criticism in the meeting could actually hold up the ceasefire, which is which honestly is probably works serves you
Well,
in
hold
some
on.
way.
What does that even? I don't know what that means.
The argument is like this is what you because Netanyahu's position on you want this to end fast. I need more weapons. That was his official statement when he was speaking in Congress. He said whatever
Sure.
went on in their meeting.
Show me that.
Yeah, I'll send you.
Like, so what
Yeah.
I've seen is
If-
completely different. But
if what
I'm
Bam
really
said-
not
I've looked at like
convinced.
3, and he said that he's saying that she was like really tough.
Sure. To be clear, right? Here's what I want to happen. I want to be able to vote for Kamala Harris. I was excited
good.
when she.
You live in New York, though,
was-
right?
You don't
He
need to know
never
where I
said
live.
where he
You don't
said
need to
live.
know where I live. But I was excited when she when she got rose to the presidential nomination, right? I want her. I'm excited for the Tim Walz pick, like Razor said previously. So I want her to be better on this. I am waiting. Give me a reason to vote for you. But I'm a one issue voter. Don't get it twisted. One issue.
Wow.
Are you for the genocide or against the genocide? It's that simple. It's that simple.
That was
But
his
when-
right.
and if
I
she
think
gives me-
you're irresponsible, but I can't change you on that.
So
Okay.
far,
Sorry, what? Sorry,
far,
what did you
she
just say?
seems like she is.
I think you're
against
irresponsible.
genocide.
I'm irresponsible. Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't
being
care.
a
I
one
don't
issue
care about
voter
that.
over
Yeah,
foreign
I-
policy.
Well, I mean, even
I don't- I
being
don't-
a
I don't
one-issue
care.
voter,
I don't. Sorry, I
Disrespectful.
didn't think you were giving me an opinion about myself. I don't give a fuck about your opinion on
Of
this.
course, that's why I said I was like I can't change you on that.
I'm of course. So there's no reason to give me your opinion
But
about.
if I said that like
I don't give a. Sorry.
small
I think
question.
I'm
I
sorry.
think
I'm
your
giving
opinion-
you- I'm giving you
We're
the
allowed to
impression-
give each other
I'm giving you
opinions
the
on this
sorry.
panel.
Hold on. Shut up. I'm giving you the impression that I give a fuck when I'm saying I don't give a fuck. So I've stated that, right? Just like you stated your thing, I've stated my thing. I don't give a fuck. Any which way.
But I'm saying if I could give an opinion that you would
I
think
didn't
is
say that you
disgusting
could.
as
Did I
well.
say you couldn't give an opinion? I just said I don't give a fuck about your opinion. That's
You
what
don't
I
have to
said.
give it, but I can still say it,
Okay,
though.
great. So hold on. You can state that. Hold on. Bam. What are you doing here? You can state that you have that opinion. I didn't stop you. Did I stop you? No. I'm stating in response to your opinion that I don't give a fuck about your opinion. That's what I'm saying.
You're
So
kind
now
of
that we've
overpowering the
had-
conversation
now we
about
have an
not
exchange of
caring.
ideas. Now that we have an exchange of ideas here, now that that's done, we can move past it.
His show.
Well,
I know,
of
the
course.
But I
fuck?
wanted to ask
Crazy.
Prime, is there like with this single issue, is there a difference between the two candidates that makes any difference to
He
you?
doesn't care.
Don't
It's
fucking
such
answer
a
for me,
won't
Bam.
vote at all
Shut the
thing.
fuck up. Don't answer for me.
I'm saying, are you
Don't- hold on,
withholding your
sorry,
vote altogether, or
My bad.
Sorry, no, I wasn't talking to you, Razor. I didn't even hear what you had to say. But Bam, don't answer for me. I'll do it myself. I got it. You can be assured that I have an opinion on this. Any which way. Sorry, Waterkai, could you repeat your question?
I was saying, is there on this single issue? I don't believe either of the candidates are in the position that you're looking for. So, are you withholding your vote, or would there be one that you would vote for over the other?
I'm withholding my vote until there's no reason way I'm voting for Trump, right? That's out of the question, right? Obviously. But unless Kamala makes it clear, or sorry, not even makes it clear, there is a significant change in rhetoric. I understand how politics work. In these situations, people pretend like you don't understand, even though I've been talking about politics in front of people for years at a time. But now they think, oh, you don't understand. I get how politics works. But I need an actual significant change in rhetoric, not simply stating over and over again that they're for the ceasefire talks. Right? She hasn't said anything that would say there's a change in policy. She's literally zero indication, as far as I can tell, that there's actual change in policy. Only a slight change in rhetoric. That's not enough. I don't care about that. That we've had enough rhetoric over the past 9 months of endless slaughter in Gaza. So if there's not an actual going to be a change of policy, if you can't intimate to me that there's going to be a change in policy, well, then that means you're going to continue the Biden legacy. And I wasn't going to vote for Biden on this, right? So then why should I vote for you? Simple.
So the answer is yes, unless you will withhold your vote until significant advancement in the Gaza conflict situation.
No. Because the conflict is probably going to stay this. Fuck.
No, I'm talking about her, like what she would do about it, and trying to propose the ceasefire or enact the ceasefire. Okay, like, so unless Kamala Harris does something to enact ceasefire, you're gonna withhold your vote and won't vote at all, unless probably vote your conscience for a third party or something.
No. Again, no. What I'm saying is that the conflict. I'll say it again. The conflict will actually probably stay the same for fucking months, like at least until January. But Kamala can't do anything at this point to elect change. That's not within her capabilities now, right? So I wouldn't hold her up to that standard. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm saying
hold on, you don't let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can respond to what I'm saying, right? Then we can actually like build a bridge here, right? So what I'm saying is that right now she doesn't have the ability to enact policy, right? So I'm saying I'm looking for either a policy proposal or a significant change enough in her rhetoric to imply that there will be a policy proposal shift while she's in office. It's a pretty low bar. It's a pretty low bar.
Yes, that's what I'm
okay,
mentioning.
Well then great. Then let me finish it, and then I've answered your question. All you had to do is let me finish and answer the question. There you go.
You're answering a question I didn't ask. That's extraneous.
Okay, all right. Well then, how is that different from what you asked? Go ahead.
Because I was talking about the second thing that you said, and then you answered a question that you thought I asked in the first part, which is why I said, hey, trying to clarify the question because you were answering something you thought you heard or your personal interpretation rather than my intent of asking. So that's why I wanted to interrupt you, because it's not the question that you were answering in the beginning.
What's the question?
But he wouldn't. He was speaking on even if she moved her position. Even if
I'm saying like you're not going to vote for Kamala Harris until she does something that is significant enough for you. That's like on the position of the Gaza conflict, Palestine and Israel situation. That's what I was talking about. And the answer is yes, you wouldn't. Therefore, and you still hasn't answered the second part of the question, which was you will abstain from voting in general, or probably vote your conscience of some nebulous third party if she doesn't do anything to move her position. Correct?
Will I withhold my vote if she doesn't? If there is no change from the current positions. My understanding for current positions, then yes. But I already said that. Okay. I don't know why you need a clarification on that. I've already stated that multiple times. I don't know.
Oh, that wasn't clear to me. I'm sorry.
Would she have to?
Oh God!
You were gonna bet something.
More toxic.
Sorry, you were gonna bet something.
Oh yeah, I want.
The
bet I want to make. Because I think Biden's gonna have all this wrapped up before the election. To be completely honest with you.
Why?
I don't know. Just gut feeling.
But why? Like, what's the reason behind this?
There seems to I think that according to everything that it seems, the amount of conflict going on in the Strip has decreased significantly, and I think that Israel.
The amount of conflict in this Strip is
the level of like bombing and stuff, like at least from everything I've read, seems to be decreased. It's not. I didn't say it stopped. But it's not the exact same as it was on October 8th. So I don't know why you were shaking your head. And the second thing being, it seems that Israel is losing a good bit of its goodwill. I'm not talking about morally. I actually think
you don't know what I was reacting to.
But I'm still talking. I think they're morally as strong as ever. I'm saying that I think that the American people's position is shifting slightly on it. I don't think they've hit the point where Americans are all the way against it, seeing as how Cory Bush and elections have turned out. But I think that the American people are slightly changing on being okay with it. So I think that they're. Like I said, I don't know. Like I didn't even want to answer this question. I just think it's going to be wrapped up before the election.
Yeah. You didn't want to answer because your intuition was based on nothing. That's why you didn't want to answer the question. I know that.
I gave 2 parts.
Yeah, great. I'll let unless you're
No,
not done
because I want
talking.
to actually do the bet. I think the bet is like if he does, will you say that, golly, Bam, you're so much better than me at everything?
I'm not. I'm not taking that bet only because the bet is nonsensical, right? Your basis for this bet is completely nonsensical.
And that means
So
it
like,
should be in your favor.
hold on, listen to me. I don't care about I don't care about this fucking bet. I get nothing out of this bet. Zero whatsoever.
You
Right?
get the ceasefire you deserve. One.
I get the ceasefire out of this bet.
Yes.
This bet, I get the ceasefire.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
there
exactly
you go.
what
Thank
he's
you,
saying.
Dream. Yeah,
And
I
Funko
guarantee
Pop.
this
You
bet.
guarantee
If I don't take the bet, I basically have blood in my hands if I don't take the bet.
Pretty much. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
manifest.
Okay.
That's how it
Anyway,
works. We gotta
whatever.
manifest.
Back
Wow,
to it.
somebody. If you were so sure that it's not going to get ended, I wouldn't.
No,
I
I'm
would
not.
think
Hold on. I'm not sure of anything. So maybe there is some sort of breakthrough that happens the next couple of months. The only thing I'm sure, I don't think I am sure of is that did I say it? Let me think about how I want to phrase this before I do it. I'm gonna go back to that in a second. Let me tackle what you had said previously. Right, you talked about like Corey Bush and Jamal Bowman getting eliminated. Right, they were attacked by AIPAC over their Israel positions. Right, but that's not why they lost. They lost because
they didn't get as many votes.
Oh my god. Bam, this analysis is so weak. It's just like unbelievable. And it's like something to be ashamed of, really. Bam. It's not shut up, Bam, for a second, please. They were attacked by Israel because of their positions, or by AIPAC, because of their positions on Israel. But that's not why they lost. They lost because AIPAC poured $9 million and $8 million, I think, respectively, or maybe it was at 17 million and 9 million. I forget. The numbers are huge, right? The largest amount of money into a congressional race, and then the second largest amount of money in the congressional race. They poured into it, and they poured it into candidates that are pro-Israel, but that's not what they pushed. That wasn't their messaging. Right, the messaging was just that, like, Corey and Jamal are extreme, and they don't support President Biden. That's why they lost. Right, they had like an overwhelming amount of money against them, but the money wasn't saying, the advertisers wouldn't say they're not pro-Israel enough. Right, I mean, I'm sure there was some level of that, but that wasn't the thrust of the campaign. It wasn't that they're not for the bombings. That wasn't just like in you've seen this before, Bam, which is why I don't know why you can't understand this simple thing. Is that when outside money spends, right? They're trying to get a candidate out. They don't give a fuck about why the voters don't vote for them. They're willing to lie about the record of the opponents they're against. They're simply going to frame them in a negative light. So when you have that much money on the one side and the other side has not nearly enough money to combat it, then that's why they lost. Now, the worst analysis you can say after looking at that is to say, oh, they lost, right, because the American people support Israel, right? Clearly, the American people must support Israel, even though Israel, as far as they know, wasn't on the ballot. And so, as far as the advertisement they saw, it wasn't being argued. None of that was being argued because that dark money, that they can just make any argument they want because they have the money. That's simple. You know this, Bam. You know this already. So I don't know why I have to explain this to you.
I didn't say that's why they lost. I said they lost because they didn't get as many votes as their opponents.
No, that's not what you said originally. Don't worry.
I said that was
you didn't say that originally. No, hold on.
I didn't say
you said no, Bam. I remember what you said. So don't try to move the fucking goalpost. Don't do it. You said that, like, hey, it seems like the American people hasn't moved enough on this issue, considering what happened to Corey Bush and Jamal Bowman. You are relating that directly to America, or your perceived view of that America is still pro-Israel, that's why these two lost. That was the implication. That was a clear implication. Don't move the goalposts afterwards.
But I don't think that's why he lost. Yeah, I do think they lost because they didn't get enough votes. I don't
Yeah,
think that-
okay.
I don't
That's how
think
all
progressives
elections
came out-
work. So then, if that's actually your statement, then it's a dumb fuck statement. Then I should have ignored from the beginning.
I don't give a
Because
F about
that's
your
how-
opinion. You know what
Great,
you said?
great. Because we don't have to worry about that anymore. But man, because if your analysis of elections is that hey, that one person didn't get enough votes, and that's all I
Yeah,
have to
'cause
say
they're
about
based-
it. Well, then
progressive
great.
based
Then there's
on
nothing to pay attention to. I'm glad you've passed election 101.
Now we
You've
can both
understood.
have opinions
Yes,
that the
that
other
one
person doesn't have
side
to
needs
give
to
up
get
about.
one side needs to get more votes than the other side. I'm
They
glad
do.
you've gotten that. If that's all you were going to say, Bam, I don't know why you needed to waste our time, but
I did need to
but
say
you
it. It
but
felt
you managed it
important.
anyway, Trey. Thank you, Bam. Great
It
work.
felt very important.
He's hiding it
Can
out.
we do the topic now?
Great work.
Okay, I think we can move on from then. I just wanted to see about that.
Golly, I love stirring you up. I was so right every time. But yeah, you don't want to make the bet?
This is a useless bet. Why the fuck am I gonna make this bet? This is a
Yeah,
dumbass
that's
bet.
most
He
bets are
knows
useless.
Biden's about to.
What if we throw in a
Sure.
Funko Pop
Yeah,
if you
great.
win?
100%.
Matter of fact, I'll put 5 subs on it.
I don't care. Yeah, you keep your 5 subs. Keep your 5 subs. I don't want to make this bet because you have I would make this bet with someone who one actually gave a shit about this. You don't. Two had a good reason to believe in what they believe, right? Like
I gave a reason. You don't have to like my reason.
Yeah, one. I get to decide what's good or not, though. I said not that you didn't have a reason. I said a good reason, right? Didn't I just say good? Did I just say good?
But if
My
you
subjective
felt it
view
was,
of it.
if you felt it was
Okay,
good,
great.
wouldn't you just have my position then?
Yeah.
No, I said a good. No. I said a good reason to believe what they believe. Not that I have to agree. Like Lactoid has good reasons to be a libertarian. I don't have to agree with his position as a libertarian.
Wait, if it's a good reason, how come you're not one?
You work it out yourself, Dream.
You're
Just
not.
I
do your
genuinely want to
best.
know.
Do your best to work
You
it
don't
out
know
yourself.
how-
I don't think it's a good
We
reason.
can just do the topic then. This is
Okay, great.
You don't know how accents work.
All right. Anyway, thanks all for coming here. This is All Black Everything Roundtable. We should have Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. But anyway, thanks all for being here. I really appreciate you guys coming through. We have a great group of guests. We'll start with introductions. Thank you, Bam, for being here.
hello. My name is Jeff, and have come here to speak my opinions. My opinions are always right. I'm already 2-0 against Prime today, and let's make it 3 for 3.
All right, thank you so much. We have Waterkai. Waterkai, really always love when you come through, friend.
I appreciate being here. Great seeing you fired up. I want to say, is it Elden Ring that got you nuddled and has you like looking for blood today? Or
I have Armored Core 6 is what I've been playing.
oh, even better.
And I ran into a boss. Apparently, it's the hardest boss in the game. It's not the final boss, but it's like I've seen people online saying it's the hardest boss in the game, and it is whooping my ass. And it whooped my ass last night, and then I thought about it. I'm like, I got a strategy for this, and then I came back, whooped my ass some more, and so I'm back where I was. All right, and we'll see.
Wait, is Armor Core on a PS5?
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep,
Oh,
Armored Core
nice.
6 is the latest one. Yeah, it came out last
I
year.
played it on PC.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Armored
Yeah,
Core
I
is an
remember
amazing game.
one of the
I love it. It's
fights.
my first Armored Core, but I'm loving it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had problems back in 3 with 9 ball, and they used to say that was harder than the last boss. So I feel you on that. They throw in some dirt.
So,
So
it's
yeah, but
a
glad to be
problem.
here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, friend. Next we have our friend Razor. Razor, thank you so much for coming through, friend.
Yeah, of course. Again, sorry I showed up a little bit later than I usually like to, but I was able to get a good conversation in before the topic. That's good. Yeah, I am Razor Sharp G here on twitch.tv. Feel free to hit me with a follow. I recently got affiliate, so I'm working on that content grind right now. Need to actually sit down and edit. Ouch. I host a little show called No Man's Land every other Monday. Sometimes I have to move to Tuesday depending on my co-host schedule. But tune in for those where we pick a topic and we just go as in-depth as we possibly can, sitting in the middle of the war zone that is the fucking online internet, online political discourse.
Great, thank you. Solus, we've been mostly in a corner for the this entire time. I'm really happy you're here ourselves. We've missed you, friend.
Solus, you there, bro?
My bad. My shit is all fucked up, and I'm trying to do 1,000 things at once. You know, I don't want to stretch, but I'm gonna give my time to dream because I need my introduction to be a little, be a little. I need some time.
It
Give
has
my
nothing to
time.
do with last night, right?
No, not at all. Well, yes, but
Okay.
no. Yes, but
God damn it.
Okay, interesting. Dream, please. Thank you as
Interesting.
well. We're happy to have you.
Thanks for having me, brother. Even no dream, I'm in the scene, yada I mean, bada bing.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
listen, are you ready? I don't know.
listen here, all of you fucks. Okay, listen here, every last one of you sons of bitches. All right, I have sat through several ABEs, whether they be debate, bro, political, nerd, or otherwise. Gladly sat and gave whatever commentary I could, but the one time I couldn't show up, you sons of bitches start talking about hip hop. You fucks, you bitch
I knew it
ass,
was coming.
hoe ass, fuck. I look, Nick, listen to me, you. I had to sit and watch Fnatic and Gambit argue about hip hop for 20 minutes straight before I cut that shit off and couldn't watch no more. Ain't nobody call me, ain't nobody text me, and I just want all y'all niggas to know, like I tell my homies when they hop on the game without me, all y'all some bitches. That's my word.
I
I
tried.
think we did call and text you though. I think you
Ain't nobody call niggas call me after the fact. Niggas, hey man, that was a crazy ass ABE. They was talking about hip hop. Oh, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? What I
No,
missed?
wait a minute.
You were on my.
I sent you an invite that
Solus.
week, right?
And I think
Prime,
GSU hit you up live.
Prime did send me an invite, but I had shit I had to do. I couldn't.
Yeah.
So all that critique was
You were on my
invalid.
mind, Solus. The moment we started talking about it, I was like, I know Solus got the base take on this.
To be fair, we didn't know what was gonna happen. It happened at random. Actually, Prime was the one that brought it up.
Yeah,
Prime started hip hop
I
conversation.
didn't think it was going to be a huge thing.
I got it.
It was a simple question, and then it spiraled for like an hour and a half. Yeah, okay. But hopefully, maybe today, maybe someone will bring up hip hop. I don't know. It could be you.
Actually, I already know. I have a way. We're gonna be able to flip it. It's gonna
Okay.
be part of this.
I'm interested. All right, so let's read the topic. Oh, and guys, if you've enjoying the content, if it feels spicy to you, if it feels fun, thank you, Naritas, for gifting 1,000 bits. This is the thing I was going to ask you to do. He says, great moderation tonight, not entertaining, the meta BS off-topic rambling and staying on point. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you for the 1,000 bits, Naritas. Consider support the channel by giving the business. Naritas has always been the a kind supporter helping us out. By giving spits or subbing to the channel or gifting subs. If you want ad-free viewing, if you want to support us by resubbing, if you want to get our emotes, consider helping out the channel. If you're on YouTube, consider dropping a super chat. I've been looking out for super chats. If you give a super chat like that bit donation, we will read it. We'll respond to it. So if you're on YouTube, consider helping us out that way or becoming a member if you don't have anything particular to say on YouTube. So thank you to anyone who does support. It's much appreciated. If you have an Amazon Prime Gaming, use that one sub here on this community because we could use it. All right, let's get back to it. The topic. And credit to Bam. Bam came up with this topic. I do really appreciate it. Shout out to my man Bam. Should Kai Cenat, that's how you pronounce his name, Cenat, right?
Cenat.
Yeah, Cenat.
Cenat?
Kai Cenat.
Cenat. How is that different from what I said? Is it?
You said Cenat.
Cenat.
Insignificant
Versus
difference.
A. It's A versus A.
So Cenat?
Cenat.
Cenat.
Yes.
Cenat, excuse me.
Like an
Thank
annoying
you.
little fly.
Cenat the
Still be
third.
rich. No matter how he pronounces it, he'll still be rich.
He'll still be rich. Yeah, it won't matter. I won't slow that man's game down one bit. Should Kai Cenat, the largest live streamer globally, feel a responsibility to engage in political discussions or promote political figures on his platform, considering his influence and reach? This is in contrast to Aiden Ross's another influential streamer, live stream with Donald Trump that undoubtedly expanded Trump's audience. Shirkai Sanat, excuse me, who rejected an alleged offer from Kamala Harris's team to be expected to participate in political activities, even if he claims his interest in politics. How can content creators and influencers navigate the balance between leveraging their platform for political engagement and maintaining authenticity in their content? Or should they be like Michael Jordan, who famously didn't get involved with politics because, quote unquote, Republicans buy sneakers too? Again, credit to Bam for this. So I'll let Bam will give you some more information while he introduces himself. Yeah, Kai Cenat, he apparently doesn't want to get involved in politics, doesn't want to, like stump for her, or like just like exposes the audience to uh politics. So he's had disinterest into it. But another streamer who's really big for, I'm sure, some stupid reason, Aiden Ross, is using his political platform to push Trumpism. He did a stream with Trump. He gave Trump a Cybertruck, like that was like specially wrapped. And it showed like him moments after, like holding up his fist after he got shot. So like that is one person's using their platform. And so should
Also,
Cars not
golden
should he
Rolex,
feel
by
that
the
level
way.
of responsibility, do so himself. So yeah, let's start with Bam. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so the reason this was interesting to me is because it feels like a dichotomy that I think both sides have really, really legitimate points. I like most of the time I feel like I'm just right and everyone else who has another opinion is wrong. But I think this is a thing that no matter which position side you take on it, I can legitimately see the point. But maybe y'all will be so dumb and surprise me with the third position I can't think of. But I think that Kaiser Nat, who constantly does interviews with influencers and hangs out with like people of large influence, be that rappers, be that comedians, like even a lot of negative influences arguably, and he exposes his audience to that. I can get it. I can find it to be like with all the power and authority you have, it would be irresponsible to say like, oh, I don't want to talk to this political leader because that's not cool. That's not fun. When like you're a multi millionaire who may not be negatively affected by whatever the externalities is from a Trump presidency, but there's a lot of people who are, and a lot of those people watch and support you. But on the opposite side of that, Aiden Ross has like a lot of basically a similar level of influence, and I would sit down and say that like, golly, Aiden doesn't know anything about politics. Why are you talking about this at all? If you're gonna platform somebody, you should probably be responsibly, and you shouldn't just do it for vibes and gain. So like both of those positions make perfect sense to me, but I haven't really came down on where I stand on it now, involving like general political engagement and content creators. Um, like freedom makes me think on one hand I want people to decide like what, like to be able to make that judgment call that like I don't really care about politics. I don't want this to be a part of my platform. It's in so many other places in the world. I want this to be a place where people can come and chill. But personally, I feel like with great power comes great responsibility, maybe because I like Spider-Man. So we'll see.
Indeed. Thanks so much. Let's go to Mordecai.
I don't understand why any celebrity that is supporting a political candidate should really make that big of a difference. Like I've heard some people that speak on politics saying that they want to have a person that's high enough in notoriety in the black community to press Kamala on reparations or something on that order, but they want it to be the most responsible person possible, which you can't expect that. So like Kai Cenat is like literally probably the biggest person she could speak to, but he doesn't care to speak to her. So like it's the same as saying like, oh well, I want to know what Ja Rule thinks about this. Like honestly, this shouldn't influence anybody's vote whatsoever. Like people that are fans of Kai Cenat would probably be voting for her for all the wrong reasons, wouldn't care what her platform means, what she's doing for them, any of this. It would just be, oh, my favorite streamer likes her, so I'm going to vote for her. And that seems like a terrible reason. So I would think she should be able to stand on her own merits and not need an endorsement from Kai Cenat, and not have her people blowing up his phone to the point where he's going off on stream about it.
Let's
That nigga
go.
was pressed in that motherfucking U-Haul.
Let's go to Razor.
Okay, so I'm gonna front load this with a small thing that I saw before this. It appears it says Kamala Harris campaign reportedly never calling Kai Cenat for a Twitch collab. It's via TMZ, so obviously fucking huge great assault. But so far the only person we know who said anything about being contacted is Kai Cenat himself. So it's whatever on
Probably
that.
unofficial.
But let's say they did. Let's say we did happen. I don't believe that streamers should feel obligated, no matter how big or celebrities in general, no matter how big or powerful they are with their streamer and stuff, should feel obligated to help out any kind of campaign if they want to. They cool, awesome. Dane Ross is a fucking chair sniffer. I don't know why the fuck anyone cares about what he has to say. And for Kai Cenat, he screams a lot and is terrible at Dark Soul at fucking FermSoft games. There's I get it. They're big. They get a lot of audience. I don't know. I guess let them have their viewpoints on this. If Kai Cenat is lying about being contacted by Kamala Harris and her campaign, kind of just I feel kind of stupid. Like, are you just doing that for more views and clicks, or I don't know. This guy's weird. This guy's weird to me.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go to Solus.
Two things. One, they're saying that basically this is some hoe ass shit, but they're saying that Kamala Harris's direct team didn't reach out to Kai
That's what I
Cenat,
was
but
gonna say.
rather somebody else in a DMV convention, oddly enough attached to Chicago.
Third party, but it's
Or
all the same
whatever
thing.
bro, the same. That's weird shit. But Kai Cenat and me are the same age, and I would always say that like the time that I've grown up in politics and the way that they've been introduced to me, has made me completely and totally disillusioned with engaging with them. I only do so very, very sparingly. Like it just doesn't. Most of the time, it doesn't seem worth it. The conversation is it's AIDS, it's cancer. If this was a pool, it's shit, piss, and radioactive waste inside of it. On top of the fact that,
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Go ahead.
just being real with you, the conversation in politics is AIDS. But and on top of that, like the desire to want to educate yourself in politics is already something that most people my age don't even want to do. But then the desire to do so as a rich streamer, what I imagine is way, way less. And then when you really sit and think about it, like y'all said, who gives a fuck what Kai Cenat thinks right now? Like, who gives that? Everything about this screams to me like this is why people don't fuck with politics.
We have a super chat from someone I don't know. I don't recognize the username. $5 super chat.
What's it say, Brown?
Says says it says in Dream's voice, Bam is better than me. That's what it says. I don't know.
Okay. I don't think
Sure.
it says Dream's voice. I don't
That's
think it says that.
Band's
know.
better than me.
See,
No, it wasn't
there
in
you
Dream's
go.
voice. It
I
didn't say
don't.
that.
That's what it
Wow,
it said. But
think,
in any
allegedly.
case, thank you for that. Whoever mysterious stranger, whoever that might be, no Dream. Thank you for being. Oh yeah, I already did that. Give us your intro.
Yeah, I think I think it's okay to decline an offer from anybody requesting you to endorse them, but I hate Kai Cenat's reasoning. He's like, I don't give a fuck about politics, or like, I don't like politics. I hate politics. It doesn't affect me, or something to that. Like whatever his reasoning was, it was like horrible. And the reason I'm saying is like, I view politics like entering a forest or unknown territory. Meaning that it would be irresponsible for me if I knew that I'm entering a forest and I knew nothing about the forest, even though there's information out there that I can gather from to know about the forest, to equip myself with the best tools and resources and knowledge about, oh, that plant's poisonous, don't touch that one, don't eat that one. Here's the best place to gather shade, and I should probably do my camp in this location because it's near the ocean so I can fish, et cetera, et cetera. You probably want to maximize the information and knowledge that you have so you can survive and thrive, or at the very least, help others that are struggling to, and just in case you meet somebody out there in the forest, especially when you have easy access, right? Like, not referring to somebody that has no ability to obtain this information, or doesn't even know that this information is obtained in the first place. But once you've already have the ability, you're of able mind, and you are aware where to get this information, and you know how to get it, it's irresponsible of you to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna walk into this forest, even though I know I could equip myself with the necessary tools to enhance my survival and give myself the best chance to survive. I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna go into this forest blindly. This is irresponsible. Like, it's clear cut irresponsible. And the same logic applies to Kai Cenat not educating himself when he has a clear cut ability and it's easy, in a sense of easily accessible. And he can make it so it's easy for him. Just like on a personal level, right? Like I don't blame him in the sense that, because I used to be the same way, like apathetic towards politics, because I used to be a young nigga. I don't really give a fuck. But there is something that to be said about like wising up as you get older, wisening up as you get older. Because now I'm like, holy shit, it's, if I know if I know there's a better choice, or if I know that I can at least find out if there's a better choice, and I do nothing about it, then I'm irresponsible on my end from doing nothing. So yeah, I think you have an obligation to be as informed as you can, especially with very important decisions, especially when there's a imminent threat and you have the ability to do something about it. Right? Kai Cenat has more of an ability to do something about it more than anyone else. And I wouldn't advocate for people to just listen to Kai Cenat for no reason, but this is America, and niggas idolize people, and people listen to people just for no reason. People will listen to Kim Kardashian for whatever reason. So Kai Cenat has a huge amount of influence, which he can do for good if he just educates himself with that ability. Ja Rule, nobody want to listen to Ja Rule because that nigga is dumb. But if Ja Rule was stupid, smart and educated himself, now I'm like, actually, yeah, what does Ja Rule have to say? Just like niggas on the right, they're like, what does Ben Shapiro have to say? Even though he's an idiot, right? To them, their perception is that he's smart. But imagine if Ja Rule was actually smart. Like, I think Ja Rule has an obligation to actually educate himself, just like we all do, especially when we have the ability to, especially if you're a nigga with money. So yeah, you have a moral obligation. If you don't give a fuck about people, this doesn't apply to you. If Kai Cenat actually cares about people and wants what's best for the nation, for the world, for any amount of person, he would do whatever it is in his power to try to prop up the person that he believes would achieve a world that best represents the world that he wants. And him not doing that is irresponsible according to himself, his own beliefs.
Yet it's not his obligation. Like, in what world is he forced to do something he doesn't care about?
Kai.
Lethe, I just gave a pretty sound argument. If Kai cares about people, right, and if he cares about maximizing,
He's rich. Why would he?
Exactly, but
that's why I said if. That's why I said if.
He can do charity.
I don't care about ifs right now.
Other things with his money. He can do whatever he wants, which has nothing to do with politics. So he can be altruistic in so many other ways while not giving a crap about politics or how it affects.
Is he?
Insert I show speed.
Is he?
I really don't care.
That's why I said if he cares. If he doesn't, this doesn't apply to him. Like, why are y'all critiquing something I literally put in place? What the fuck are you talking then?
I think you're kind of missing the point.
This whole thing is an if conversation. This whole thing is an if conversation, Razor. This whole thing is If Kai does it, is it a good thing? If Kai doesn't, is it a bad
Is
thing?
he
Well, of
obligated
course,
to
it's a
do
good thing,
it?
but he has no obligation to do it. And so, like, why would he threaten his
Why is it?
platform?
Wait. Why do we assume? Wait, here's another thing. This is the weirdest shit about politics. Everyone says if someone gets educated and they get into politics, that's a good thing. Okay, but if Kai Cenat, right, has political beliefs that you deem to be immoral and fucked up, niggas is not gonna say that it was a
Yeah,
good
that's what I'm
thing
saying.
that he
Because I
got
think
involved
what
in
Aiden
politics.
doing is irresponsible.
Yeah, but
Even
he's
though-
not
But
educated.
Oh, Aiden's
But
extremely
Aiden's not
sensitive.
educated. Do you
What-
think this is
what is-
under
what
any
is-
reasonable
It doesn't
definition of
matter.
educated?
What
Is
what
Aiden
is-
Ross educated?
what
Under
is-
any reasonable
what-
definition.
What is?
Considering he says fascist
I
because he doesn't know
don't.
how to say fascist.
no,
Let's Solus, please talk to me. Under any reasonable
I
definition of
can't-
educated, is that nigga educated?
What does it matter?
I do not know of Aiden Ross enough to know whether or not the man is educated.
Have you heard any tangible, smart thing out of that nigga mouth?
I haven't
Ever?
heard anything of that. I haven't heard anything out of that nigga's mouth.
So no, you haven't.
Whatever.
Not saying that you know all things that he said. You as of right now, you haven't heard anything that he said that was intelligent.
No, Jay.
He's not known to be any type of intelligent
I
nigga.
don't know what the nigga's known for. I know that he's known to stream his
He's
intelligence.
actually known to be a absolute dumbass. That's what he's known for.
I mean, if you know, don't ask me. I don't know what the fuck the nigga's known for. I know that he streams. I don't know if the man.
Right. So I'm saying he's a bad example to talk about. Well, look at this famous person who talks about politics.
Well,
It's
I was
not
gonna say
analogous.
that,
Okay,
but-
great. But my point was that some people would consider educated. Somebody can get in front of the world and say something on a political stance, and that there's a group of people that will say that they're very well educated, they agree with whatever they're saying, and then there's another group of people saying that everything they just said is bullshit. The idea that a motherfucker needs to get educated in politics is very subjective because if
That's why I said if.
No, but this is my point. Like, it's like all those things that they tell you not to talk about when you first meet somebody. Somebody can get up and spew the gospel from any religious group, and there are people that will say, "Holy shit, this man knows his word," and then there are other people that say this is a blasphemous piece of shit that deserves to die. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you need to get educated isn't a fair thing to say because education gonna be subjective. What you think is political theater is what the next motherfucker thinks is somebody that knows what they're talking about.
If you're acting with a reasonable and sound mind, and you care about sufficient evidence to reach conclusions, I'm not anything. What you're hearing from me has nothing to do with unreasonable people, like people that believe in like logical fallacies, that use logical fallacies to articulate their reasoning, and even if they do, they wouldn't consider any argument that like contradicts their logical reasoning to be like, hey, look, you're actually using a logical fallacy. I'm not talking to those people, right? I'm simply talking like, listen, if you're of sound mind, you're able to educate yourself about something so important, such as trying to prevent the next demagogue dictator from being in office that would affect your life, right? Something as immense and important as this, if you care about people. Now, if Kai Cenat doesn't, this doesn't apply to him. This is why I'm saying if.
I was about to say, but back to politics, there's somebody for the person that says, hey, this person is a dictator. There's somebody else that doesn't believe that. Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
but that's what debate is for, Solus. Just because a nigga that believes in wrong, incorrect things doesn't mean that, he believes in incorrect things. I give up. I can't do anything about it. Nigga, you show him how he's incorrect. And then once they've shown themselves to be ideologically entrenched and don't care about reason and don't care about contradictions to their belief, then you be like, oh, this nigga is actually incapable of logical sound reasoning. I don't want to talk to this nigga. Then you move on to the next nigga that's actually sound.
Sure, but just backing up, I don't know if he's like, I don't know if like there you have to have a foundational understanding that I don't think he has. Like you're saying that like, if we know this is but I'm saying that you're already assuming that he understands that this is a truly important election. I'm saying I don't even know if he knows.
Right. And I'm saying
he doesn't.
I okay, man, I understand that, right? But just like my forest analogy, I don't know if there's real danger in that forest. I could be going to the safest forest in the world, right? But why not at least inform myself just so I can be prepared?
Well,
that's why I use that forest.
Literally, I mean, I think people pick the things that they choose to focus on. Because like the analogy you're applying would apply to literally anything. Like, why don't you know about rocket science? It's like, well, I don't know. I don't care about rocket science. The reason, like, you could be in a situation.
I think politics. I really do. I don't see how anyone can make the argument that politics isn't important. That's the thing. Like
I feel
because
like
politics is
60%
literally
of
the whole,
Americans do though. Like
no.
60.
But bam. I'm not saying that niggas can't say it. I'm saying niggas can't make a sound argument that that's the case.
I'm just saying that people didn't take your philosophy class and they're doing that. I'm saying that a lot of Americans come to really simple conclusions that they don't feel like engaging in politics. And I'm wondering if anything, like he would have got tons of views if he'd done it. I wonder if the responsible thing was him saying, you know what, I actually don't know enough about this. I shouldn't be the person you're talking to. Like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, because if this was just clout based, she obviously would be a really large like.
No, that was definitely a good thing to do. Like I would definitely say that was a morally
I would
right
rather
thing to
him do that, but obviously there's a hierarchy of preferences. But I'm saying that like the most responsible thing he could do would be to educate himself upon being requested. Be like, you know what, this does sound interesting. I would, and I'm not rejecting you offhand, but I can't do it as of right now. But let me get back to you once I've done my own research. Just like I actually went door knocking, right, for a political candidate, one of my good friends. And some of the people I knocked on their doors and opened theirs, and I was like telling about them. They were like, "Hey, I'm still undecided. I don't," because I asked him, "Hey, will you vote for my guy?" He's like, I'm still undecided." And I was like, you know what? That is actually the most responsible thing to do. You're actually right. And then I would give him more information. I'd be like, "Okay, well, how about now? After you know all this, it's like." And some of them be like, you know what? Yeah. After all of that, yeah, it seems I'm really aligned with him. Thanks for telling that more information. And then other people be like, no, I still have to do my own research. I'm gonna do my online research. And then I was like, okay, thank you. We'll get back to you hopefully. And thanks for your time. So that's what Kai could have done. Not, oh, I don't want to do it at all. Kai's actions is equivalent to me knocking on the door, so a nigga that's registered to vote, and they're like, nah, nigga, I don't care what you got to say. I'm not voting at all. That's irresponsible. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree. I think that a lot of the voting decisions could be considered irresponsible, but I don't want to. But like I said, at the end of the day, I think he gets to make that decision. And there's probably some ways that making a stance politically ends up hurting his pockets. Like it is like in a Michael Jordan type of way.
Yeah, of course it hurts his pockets, but I think like
y'all-
niggas' livelihood is more important than pockets. My personal
Why do
opinion.
y'all when we talk about getting into politics, right? Like I feel, bro, to the fullest extent. Like that when that nigga was banging on that table in that U-Haul, I felt every last slap. Every last bit I felt that. But like getting into politics when I was a kid, it seemed like some shit that really intelligent people should do. There would be conversations about economics. It would be conversations about foreign policies and shit like that, knowing the history of not only your country but other countries and the relationships that you had. If you wanted to get into politics, you had to be having conversations that seem very broad and for like intellectual people. But politics today are conversations that I don't think y'all don't even like having them. They're not fun. They're not enjoyable.
I love that shit.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Dream is the fucking mama mentality, nigga, of political conversation. But for the average human being, right, waking up and being like, you know what? I got these thoughts about economics. I got these thoughts about foreign policy. But me and Steve,
I understand everything you're saying.
Hey, just let him finish.
Yeah,
let me get
let
it
him
out
finish.
though.
but me and Steve are about to argue on what a woman is or if a vaccine is good for you. That's what this is the political discourse me and Frank is about to have for an hour.
Or me and Lil Baby can play 2K.
I generally think Solus.
No normal person runs headfirst into that with glee and joy. I don't think people do that.
I generally think Solus that you have I wouldn't necessarily say it's a framing issue, but what I'm trying to say is you're under the impression that niggas don't like to talk about politics, and I think niggas love to talk about politics. They just don't know that what they're talking about is actually politics, or they don't like to label it as politics. They just like to call it chop and shop or whatever. Like I'm just talking, I'm just talking about life. Nigga, life is politics. Politics is life. Like when you have a philosophical disagreement with somebody, that is a political conversation. When you're like, when niggas actually have genuine barbershop conversations about what is a woman, that is a political conversation, because what you think a woman is going to be affected, and your interpretation is going to be affected what actually gets codified in law about what a legal definition of a woman is. So like when people be like, oh, I don't really like talking about politics, nigga, you do that shit all the time. You just don't recognize it. That's what I'm trying to say, Solus. Niggas love politics because politics is intertwined with everything you fucking do. You can't name one single thing that politics isn't involved in your life.
Philosophy and not politics.
Niggas do not enjoy, unless people are in an echo chamber and people are agreeing. No one likes these conversations. No one
So
enjoys.
That's
That's
so
not the
cap.
that's the
That's
thing.
just
Hold
cap.
on. But
you
the
wait,
way
pause.
people
That's why I
use.
want to talk to Dream though for 1 second. Just real quick.
Oh,
You
sorry, go
think
ahead.
niggas enjoy shouting back and forth over whether or not a vaccine is good? This is what you think niggas enjoy doing?
Did I
love this
say
shit.
number one? Number one.
Love it.
Number one, nigga, yeah. Number one, that's number one. Number two, if it's you could be out of the everything you could fucking talk about, vaccines is the minutia of a fraction of a 1% about politics, right? I'm saying like you can't name a single thing, even the price of video games, whether or not online video games should have a refund longer than 2 weeks, like Steam does. That's fucking politics because you're talking about policy. You're talking because you're talking about things that the government can do something about. That's politics. Anything that the government can do something about, and you're talking about a philosophical disagreement or argument, you're talking about something politics can affect, and therefore talking about politics.
Prime pays me pretty well, but
Sorry.
like the reason I come here is for the fun, not just the money.
But Dream, and like I guess it's not even really pushback because I agree with what you just said, of course, that all of it is politics, right? Everything is political, right? But the way that you and I are using the word politics and political is different from the way average people do it, right? When people say like, "Hey, don't make this political," they actually mean don't make it divisive, right? Because everything, again, like you said, is political. But with the thing they don't like is that now you've entered in a conversation that there's going to be some sort of disagreement that will spur some sort of like debate, and they're trying to avoid all that, right? And so like they'll say that things like, well, don't put politics in my game, right? And that mean by divisive, then they mean
they're
like
just having a black person doesn't
don't make it divisive. And then what's divisive is having a black person. What's normal and what's not divisive is a white man there, right? If there's a white man, there's no discussion, of course not, because why would there be? Of course it should be a white character, right? And so that's the difference. So so I hear what our friend Solus is trying to say. He's saying that people don't want to jump in these conversations because when they think of political conversations, they're thinking of just divisiveness. Technically, you could have a completely calm, right, a political conversation about something that all of us all agree on, and still being politics. But that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about specifically, a social issue, right? A divisive social issue, and most people don't want to engage with it. You see it all the time, that reluctance. So I think Solus is also absolutely right in what he's trying to say. But go ahead.
First of all, I do see the larger point because people love talking about politics if it means that they don't have to acknowledge that what they're talking about is politics, right? That's what people want. People want to be able to talk about politics without ever acknowledging that it is talking about politics, bro. And I get that, bro, because I get that because of the connotation and how heavy the word is politics. Because oh shit, we're talking about politics now, it's serious. Meanwhile, they were just trying to talk about maybe something lighthearted or maybe have a less heavy air around it, right? And so when you enter the term politics, oh shit, we're talking about politics. Right, because of Prime's analysis that when people say let's don't get political, they really mean don't get divisive. And so when you remove the word politics, you remove the word divisive. So now you can just have a fun, lighthearted, from your perception, debate or argumentation about something that is politics without actually putting a word on it, and it would make yourself feel better. It's kind of like self-deception or I don't know what the word is. Cognitive it's something. It's something.
Is your assertion here that if you somehow remove, so going back to what Arsolus said, if you somehow remove the word politics from discussion on like what makes a woman, then people would be happy to jump into that conversation?
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah,
Well, can you re-ask the question?
Yeah, no problem. Solus, like he said, like people are avoiding conversations like what is a woman, right? So like for the trans debate. And then you said like, well, if you remove the word politics, people are happy to jump in. They don't want to talk about politics, they just don't want to be seen talking about politics, right? So if you somehow remove the word from this politics, from discussion of what is a woman, do you think people will be less reluctant to take part in that discussion?
Less
Reluctant.
less elected if what? I'm
I
sorry.
said
I'm
Less
not.
reluctant.
reluctant.
Oh, if they remove the word politics.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will be like, what is a woman? And if the framing, it doesn't have to have the word in, if they understand it to have to, if they're having a conversation under the premise or understanding that this is like a lighthearted, just a battle of ideas, amongst friends, rather than having the framework politics, or let's have a political discussion, right? Like to preface a discussion, be like, hey, let's talk about politics, is what I'm saying is probably gonna make it more contentious because of the connotation that people have with that word, rather than what do you guys think a woman is, right? Versus hey guys, let's talk about politics. What is a woman, right? So like those two starting of conversations is gonna probably garner different reactions, is what I'm trying to say.
What
I would
does
say that
everyone
it
else
doesn't
agree?
really matter what. No, I disagree completely. It doesn't really matter whether you use the word politics or not. The reason people don't want to have these conversations is the same reason that none of you want to be locked in a room with someone you are diametrically opposed to. Do y'all want to see a Christian and a Muslim go at each other? Is that what you want to see on a Tuesday? Do you want to see someone that think
That content
transgender
does
people?
really well.
It
Yeah.
does, but is that what the fuck you want to see when you go to work, or you're at a barbershop, or you're at any social gathering with people? Is that what the fuck you want to engage with? Do you want to be locked in a room with somebody that politically disagrees with you completely on a moral level? What you think is morally like disgusting, what you think is wrong, that's what they think the world should be like, right? Is that what the fuck you want to do? Do you want to reveal that of your coworkers, of your neighbors, of your friends, and of your family? No. No
I,
one wants to do that.
I
That is
think
not
you. I think
fun.
you. I think you talk to the wrong audience. We voluntarily show up for this.
Yeah, no, but this is different. I don't live with you, nigga. I'm not at your job every day. I don't have to see. If I was working with you and you knew dead ass in my heart of hearts, I really feel like all trans people should be thrown off of a fucking building, that would make this work environment a lot different. That's why people avoid these conversations. When you reveal these inner moral beliefs that people have, like you said, politics and morality do go hand in hand, it makes it really hard to be around other people.
Yeah, I don't talk about top
So-
politics at all at work. I acknowledge that, but I think it's just more from my livelihood. Like I just think it's and I think it is a bad stigma. I don't think like work and politics should
It
mix up.
can be like
But,
it, which is really bad. Which I feel is always bad.
Not in my job.
With work and
Well, I'm about to say that
with
again.
work and
This mob
politics.
mentality over here.
Because with work and politics, obviously there's the whole thing of like unionization, being able to make sure that you're getting paid well with all the good benefits. Like those are things that I feel people need to be talking about more. Definitely talk about your paychecks more with your coworkers, so that you know if you're getting screwed over on your pay. Those are things that do need to be talked about with work. You just got to do it smartly. I but like the just the random like anything politics. I remember when I worked as like a telemarketer for a home improvement company. We had this old crotchety Republican dude who he hated me because he would always try to talk to me about politics, and I would shut down everything that he would try to throw at me because it was all Republican talking points that I would be able to fire back at him. He hated me. There was so much animosity. Just some 60-year-old fuck like yelling at me because I said Bernie's better than Trump.
Yeah, at work I would just nod my head or laugh or something and move on. Like I wouldn't have the conversation there. So I agree with Solus is saying to that degree. I do think like
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying like if you're going to talk politics at work, make it have to do with work, and that being unionizations and your pay.
So
That's the only
I'm
thing.
speaking more in regards to this individual specifically. I don't watch his content, but I'm pretty sure his content is as far removed from politics as you're really going to get. He has a brand.
Gaming stuff.
So I assume if he goes against his brand, he's fucking with his money. What does he have to gain by fucking with his money?
A better quality of life. What the fuck are you talking about for others?
His
other than
quality of
himself?
life is probably fine.
Did you hear what I said?
He said
Well,
quality
you
of
said
for
life.
that
others.
at the end.
Yeah, I was in the middle of talking.
I don't know. I think that I don't. It's weird when you're dealing with Gen Z. Like I don't think Kai does. I mean, well, I don't know if he does things with like brand sponsorships. I mean, I'm sure he does some, but he makes most of his money just from like viewership and stuff like that. Twitch splits. So I don't think that he's like in the position where he like can't do it. or it would be like super tarnishing them to do so. Like I said, I think it's just becomes an issue of like, okay, does she play video games? Like, if not, I really don't care. Because if you think about it, even when he brings on other celebrities, his content isn't really interview style. He kind of
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
care
kinda
what
fucking
anybody
around.
believes. Yeah, he's just like, I would just want to do like, I'm just gonna do funny stuff with them on camera. Like, oh, like she's gonna be trying to talk about the needs of the American people, and he's gonna say, stick your hand in this box and tell me if it's a snake or a turtle or a stuffed animal. Like he just didn't give a f what people think.
So what if he becomes politically educated and has the absolute worst political views that intrinsically make
It would be
life
uneducated.
worse?
That's all
Wait a minute,
niggas
what?
gonna
But
say
that-
he's
that-
not educated.
All right.
By
But you gotta-
definition, it would be uneducated.
Niggas are
No,
gonna
I
say
don't think that's
he's
true.
not
Wait,
educated.
wait, wait. So if hold on. If I have the worst mathematical
I get
views
cut
and
off.
every mathematical
God.
equation is wrong, I don't
No.
have. I'm educated on math now. Every
Yep.
single equation where I say this is the correct
I'm
equation and it's
saying-
wrong
Who are
every
you
time.
talking to?
Am I
I'm
educated on
saying
math?
that if his political opinions are diametrically
We just think they're
different
bad.
than everything else that you're thinking is good for the rest of humanity, if he thinks that whatever it is that he wants is better,
As long as he can make sound arguments, Leafy, I'd be okay with his arguments. But as you can notice, as you can see, a lot of people who are invested in politics, they make arguments from things that are actually not true, such as the election was stolen, right? Like they don't have sufficient evidence to demonstrate the conclusions that they're making. And I'm saying those people, by definition, are uneducated, even though they claim to be, because the education that they get is actually misinformation. It's actually things that are demonstrated not to be true. So
I
just
understand what
because
you're saying, but
so
I
just
don't
because
think
you're
that's how people
claiming-
use that term.
I understand what you think, Bam. I understand, but you agree with what I'm saying, right? If somebody is educated on politics, at the very least, have sound arguments for your beliefs. Now, if you're making arguments in the political sphere, but then your premises are demonstrably false, right? Like I can show you sufficient evidence to say, nigga, actually that's wrong. How can you possibly say that person is educated?
Because that's not how people use that term. Like earlier, I didn't want to comment it when you said earlier, like you said that Ben Shapiro's uneducated on politics. That's not true. Ben Shapiro's obviously educated on politics.
Wait. If somebody's miseducated, are they educated? Bam.
I'm saying he's not. That's what I'm saying. That's not how people use this word. Ben Shapiro's obviously educated.
Wait.
politics. He's
So you
obviously
could be-
qualified to have conversations.
If
He
you're
comes to conclusions
wrong,
we don't like.
if you're demonstrably wrong on a topic, would you say?
Dream? I'm not going to engage with people. Don't.
No, I just want to ask you. No, on your
you're
beliefs.
asking people to think, apply, or level of thinking to words that aren't how you people use them.
Sure. I can agree with you that the vast majority of people don't think on a high level like this, which is why
It's not just a high level; it's just different.
On a different level than they think. Sure. And this is why I'm an advocate of civic engagement and philosophy courses. This is why I'm in a position that I am, because that's what I care about. And I'm advocating for these things. I just want to ask you, because you understand what I'm talking about, Bam. If somebody is demonstrably wrong on the topic, would you say that they're educated on that topic, that they're wrong?
Not in. I would say in the way that you're framing it. Yes. When in the way that everyone else frames it, no, because that's not how. Wait. That's what I'm saying. We're using two completely different definitions.
Hold on. The way you answered it made it seem like when you said no, he is educated. So I'm a bit confused.
He's educated on politics.
So okay. No, and which framing do you use?
I use the general frame. I use the general public's way of using the word.
So people are educated. Language. Would you say that a flat earther is educated on the global Earth?
Yes, I think flat earthers are some of the most educated people. The weird thing is they look into these issues. They come to weird conclusions, and then somewhere in there you can find something that doesn't make sense. But to say that they haven't looked into the issue is absolutely right. Again, I just come to conclusions I don't like.
You can look into. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay. I got one more question, and I'll shut up after this question. Just like, would you say somebody that's miseducated, meaning that the information?
Yes, I would still say they're educated. Yes.
Okay. So then we have a disagreement, fundamental disagreement.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's fundamental. No one uses the words the way you use them.
Sure. People want to say that they look into things.
Definition.
I have a private definition of.
Yes, you're using these words in your own private definition in ways that don't apply to the rest of
I'm because I didn't know this. Apparently you all might agree on this. I did not know that I thought miseducation was was the antonym of education. That's what I thought.
So
Yeah,
real
you thought wrong.
fast,
If you know a lot
the
about
term that I end up using a lot of the time, I've even had conversation with someone about this when it comes to people's education or how they interact with things. Everyone, including all of us in this room, are ignorant as fuck, depending on the topic. Like when you get quote unquote educated, you're no longer ignorant on whatever topic it was. So being miseducated, ignorant is being ignorant to the topic
can-
is the better phrasing for it.
You can be
Yeah,
very
but
well
that's like the
knowledgeable of
conclusion, right?
something.
Like miseducated is the way
have
you
a-
get ignorant, or
You can
way
have
you
an
are
entire.
ignorant.
You can have all the knowledge in the world and have a theory about how something should go and keep getting the wrong answer. But the fact that you have the basic foundation to even be wrong about the theory suggests that you are educated in this. You're just getting the wrong answer. Like you know how to use a calculator, right? But you're just not getting the right answer because you fucked up the formula. But you at least have the basic education on to even get to that fuck up. That's like the idea that because I'm getting the wrong answer means I'm not educated at all. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, 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 no. This is why I was specific, Solace. You're not hearing. I was talking about you're uneducated or you're like the education in regards to that thing that you're on about. That's what I said. Not in the topic in general that you're miseducated, right? Or uneducated. But
I don't know. A lot of these things are
in the thing-
opinions. That's the big issue here.
Well, that's why I said this is why I said if you have a sound argument, right? Then even if I disagree with it, as long as it's sound, I'm not going to say anything, right? That means that we have a fundamental disagreement of values, right? But if I can show you that your premises,
this isn't that important. I'm saying that's not how people use these terms.
So-
Like people say that like, oh, so and so like Tucker Carlson spews tons of misinformation. He does. I would never say that Tucker Carlson is an uneducated person who's not qualified to speak on politics.
Wait. I would say,
Propaganda.
hold on.
Wait,
I actually would say.
I know you would, but
No. But Destiny even says this shit. Like Tucker Carlson doesn't know what he's talking about. Like that's just a layman way of the fuck I'm saying. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Is it literally what I'm saying?
No, it's not what you're saying. It doesn't mean you're unqualified to speak on the topic.
You're uneducated about that topic. Is you don't know what the fuck.
That's not what the layman's term is.
Hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's go back to the Opium Wars. Let's go back to the Opium Wars in China. Their answer, even though they were educated on how to handle the country, they knew how to run a country. Their answer to the drug problem was, let's kill all the drug addicts.
I don't know where are you going.
What are you trying to say?
And
What I'm saying is,
are you speaking to
they
an
knew what they were doing. They
conclusion.
came to a bad conclusion.
Wait. What's the bad conclusion?
Unqualified to run a country.
What's the bad conclusion?
To murder all the drug addicts.
Why would it be bad? Why would it be bad,
It's
Lacey?
the efficacy.
Exactly.
Really?
No, I want to know why it's bad.
No, I'm
What
saying
is unsound about
substantively,
that argument, Leafy?
You're gonna have less of a populace.
What is the unsound about the argument they're making?
What is unsound about the argument?
Yes, what is their argument and what is wrong? What is unsound about it?
Killing drug addicts
Is that the most effective way to solve the problem? I'm
The
gonna
most
say no.
effective way? That's the argument they're making?
Exactly.
Okay, and I guess they'd have to define what most effective means to them. And then once they do, I'm sure they'd have a reasonable thing. And I could disagree with them, but as long as it's sound, I can't say anything against that. But what I can say anything against is that if they say this is the only way, I'm like, no, that's demonstrably false. Here's another way.
So wait, hold on. So if the Nazis had a sound argument, right? Not that one you agreed with, but a sound argument to exterminate the Jews.
Yeah, if you give it to me,
you'd have nothing. You'd have nothing to say after.
You would
that.
just
Like,
say it's
oh,
a
you
fundamental
made a sound.
difference in values.
You're like, okay,
yeah,
well,
they don't care about
we just
human
have to
life.
agree to disagree.
The vast majority of other people do. And for that reason, that's why we're going to stop you as the world against the Nazis.
Different. Wait, that's different. That's different. Now you're introducing a military action against them. Before you said like, oh well, like these.
I can't
these guys
say
are
anything. Not that I can't disagree. I said from the beginning that
what does that mean when you can't say anything? Maybe I'm.
That means that okay, fine. You have a sound reasoning. I'm disagreeing with you because I have a fundamental disagreement on values, and fundamental disagreement on values can be a justified reason to go into war with somebody or to stop somebody from doing something.
Yeah.
Do you disagree with that, Prime?
No,
I'm-
none of us
I-
would probably. None of us would disagree with that. If two people
Thank you.
have an efficacy, if two people have especially a moral or efficacy disagreement, that's where people tend to go way left. When me and you are on the same page as far as what we're looking, but we disagree morally or how we should efficiently deal with it, that's
Yes.
when shit hits fan, right?
Yeah. You
I think Kyle would
niggas
have
can
left
agree
this
on the
conversation
same.
right now. I don't
But
think
I'm saying,
that's why I think he wouldn't have cared about this.
Yeah, because that
Mhm.
nigga's ill-equipped as of right now. I'm not saying he can't because I was ill-equipped probably when his age, but I had probably way more interest than he did at that time. So like I was like politically apathetic before as well. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I understand his mentality, and I think with time he's probably gonna grow up and be like, you know what? Just what's the name? John? What's that famous singer? John something?
Legend.
John
Right,
Legend, right?
right,
John Legend
right.
came to Morehouse and advocated for a Hillary Clinton, and I was, I went up there to be like, hey, ask him a question. Hey, why do you think Hillary is like, what's so bad about cash bail, like removing cash bail, etc. And then I'm like, this nigga is actually a fucking singer and he cares about politics. He probably wasn't that way in his early 20s, right? But that's how I view that Kai Cenat probably is going to change. Like, and he's going to be like a John Legend going to different colleges talking about, hey, you should advocate for, what they believe is true, because, removing cash bail could be a good thing and stuff like that. Hold on one second. I'm on the phone.
I'm sorry.
Based on how
Go ahead.
Kai Cenat reacted, I didn't quite see the video itself, but I read a transcript of what he had basically said / done.
Oh, you want to see the video? It's funny as fuck. You should see this. This is actually fucking hilarious.
I personally can't stand his fucking voice. I just hate Kai
No,
Cenat
I'm telling you, bro. When that nigga
But-
said "fuck," that shit was hilarious.
Sorry, what was
No,
Tracy,
but
what were
like,
you saying?
But like, the way that definitely, the way he was like that, it definitely shows. I don't think he's ever gonna have any kind of like interest in learning politics. He doesn't want to learn it. He just
But
wants to
why
play
would-
his games, fuck around,
But why
and
the
play
fuck?
while it plays a blood hunter
with
in fucking Bloodborne room that he built, which admittedly sick as fuck. I fucking hate the bastard for doing it before I could. I want that shit. I
But, like,
want
it's-
that. That look cool as
here's
shit.
and this is another part of it that I think that we downplay is like politics have become more and more vitriolic. They've become more and more hate-filled. They've
I
become
disagree.
This shit is like gangbang. No, bro. I swear to God, this shit is insane to me. If I tell someone I am left-leaning, I don't just maybe think that rich people ought pay more taxes. I don't just have like the general liberal views. In the view of most people, that also means that I think that kids should be on puberty blockers, and that's okay. That also means that I think that I have a bunch of other like general social zeitgeist lefty takes, right? And you get lumped into a group. The shit has become more vitriolic in that way.
I
don't understand why somebody looks at that and says, I don't want to be involved in that.
I get what you're saying, Solace, and it makes sense. But I think it makes sense from the context of your lived experience. But when you take a historical perception and understanding, you see that niggas back as early as the 90s, if not or at the very least the 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, if you heard a nigga was if you heard a whisper, a blow in the wind that the nigga was communist, you got pitchforks in front of those doors, right? Like that's how serious that shit was. And niggas communists now, you be like, oh, okay, that nigga's just a lefty, right? Like it's niggas. I understand what you're saying. It's like niggas do like it is Bloods and Crips right now, but you see how Bloods and Crips right now, even like the actual Bloods and Crips weren't as murderous as they were in the 90s. That's how I'm saying like the taking sides is now. Like even it was way worse back. I think it's worse historically. Niggas went to civil war over shit. Like
no, I'm with you. The Red Scare shit with communism is always one of the funny, well, not funny, but like dark humor, funniest moments in history for America to me. That they're like, if a nigga could just be like, yo, man, that guy, I don't know, man. He was reading a couple of those books that those red fucks read. We need to take care of him. Like, no, but dead ass. And then that's the last time you're hearing of Frank. He's gone. He's not. That's it. Somebody said he was a communist and he's gone. But my point is that yes, that was worse, but this shit is still not cool or fun or fit. Like this shit is still not enjoyable. This gang banging shit that we're doing in politics is not an enjoyable thing. So when somebody says I don't want to be a part of this, I get that. Like I really resonate and understand why they feel that way. Because I I would love to argue with somebody about economics, be wrong, and learn something. I don't want to argue with somebody and then find out that they think transgenders are abominations unto God that need to be murdered and then hate them for the rest of my life. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound fun.
But Solus, here's where I also disagree with you. This does seem like a lived experience thing, right? If you had lived like just like 2 decades ago, like you'd replace trans with gay people, right? Like people talked about gay people the same way they talk about trans people now. Previously, like that's the thing that happened.
Yeah,
If you
I'm not
move,
arguing that.
yeah, if you move further back in the past, it's like there's always a group, right? And black people are like the constant group, so that never changes. But like,
Yeah.
there's always like of some political turmoil that like makes things divisive. That's what it is. You're saying like, hey man, it sounds like what you're doing is doing the normal thing, and like I don't like the divisiveness. But
No,
that's
I'm not
what
even saying
politics
that. So,
is the divisiveness.
no, I'm not mad at politics being divisive. What I mean is like, okay, I bring this up all the time because I don't know for other people. Maybe y'all are all older than me. You're 1900 fucks. Maybe this isn't a big thing to you. But I remember
Bam's the
January
oldest.
6th.
Oh, actually,
Bam
Kai's
is the
oldest.
oldest of
Never mind.
all. Oh, I say
No, it's
Kai
Kai.
is fucking.
It
Kai
is,
was
well,
born when crack first came out. That nigga's. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But like I think about January 6th a lot, and I remember vividly. I remember all of the friends I had. I lost all of them due to politics, or at least all my white friends. We stopped being friends. They went like hardcore Trump. I was somebody that didn't really give a fuck about politics like that. I remember vividly around that time saying, damn, I don't want to vote, but I think I'm going to go vote for Joe Biden. I don't like Biden, but I think something really violent is going to happen. And then after that, January 6th happened. And I saw that shit and I was like, those people exist. They're not gonna die or disappear, fucking despawn because people stop caring about this. America's gonna move on. That's what we do. But that is what is in the heart of Americans. And the next chance that some shit like that happens to pop out, it's gonna come out, right? I'm just saying that there is a more people. This hate that is building up in people is there. And not to say that it hasn't been worse in the past, or that there's not other things we can point to that we say, well, this was way worse. I'm just saying this is no good. And when somebody looks at this political climate and says, I don't want to be a part of this, I'm not mad at them. I'm not. Like I don't put that against them in any way, shape, or form.
I see it. Like I said, I don't think there's been one side on this that, like I said, I could say doesn't have a strong argument. I see both sides of it. Huh.
Do you but you agree with me that it's irresponsible, no?
Yeah, that's like I said. But I also agree with Solus saying that like someone just doesn't want to do it. For a number, and I agree with Kai's reasoning of like someone doesn't want it to affect their bottom line, like especially if he doesn't have to. Because
I wouldn't say that's both sides though. I would say that to me that seems like how do I put this, that there's like a conflict of interest. I don't know. I'm not sure what the word I want to use. But go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I think no, you're fine. I mean, yeah, it probably is a conflict. Like I said, I just think that I think that it's a reasonable decision for someone to come to. Either way, like I said, I think the responsible thing is to engage in informed opinion. But again, if he did do it in a way that I consider incorrect or irresponsible, I wouldn't like it. I would say you shouldn't do it at all.
But okay, but you would prefer if you would there is a preference that you have, a hierarchy of preference. That's the same thing I have. I think we agree on that the number one thing that I would like for him to do is to get super knowledgeable on the topic and then make an informed decision and talk about it in a responsible way, right?
Yeah. I think everybody would be there in the ideal world.
I mean, ideally, I guess.
Can you explain that to me? I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you just meant.
I'm saying I don't think anybody up here disagrees with that. Ideally, I think if they could be what he considered, if he could do a really informed conversation that really helped Gen Z get an idea of who she is and what she believes in, so they can make informed decisions. I think everybody would prefer that than less information.
Do you think that if Kai did an interview with Kamala to like, yeah, hey, what are your positions? What should you do? Like, why should people vote for you? Do you think he has like a responsibility to also interview Trump, but not be like an Aiden Ron suck up, but like essentially a journalist?
Well, that's interesting. That's a good question.
Would he have a responsibility to do the other? No.
Considering how big his audience, like would it be intelligent, like for his fans, right? Like, don't you think it would have at the very least a persona of fairness, and therefore, like, even his white fans would be, or like Trump fans that are also his fans, they'd be like, oh, at least he's giving Trump a chance to explain himself.
Yeah.
I
get
could
what
see
you-
I feel
it.
like no. I feel like no. Because at least
Bang the set,
sorry. So because Trump fans are so fucking stupid.
Because
there's
who?
this whole thing.
Trump fans.
Trump
That's
fans.
stupid.
Because they're so and vitriolic and just like anger and hate and everything. If you make their God King look bad, even with normal questions, they'll go after you. And Trump's stupid, doesn't know how to answer fucking questions well.
He does.
Follow with the NABJ.
Bro, let that nigga bang the set, bro.
Yo, have
He
you?
will, like, there will be backlash if he does if he were to talk with Kamala and then talk with Trump, the backlash would still happen. If he talked with Kamala but didn't talk with Trump, there will be backlash. So no, and it would be negative backlash in Trump supporters being extra fucking
I can see
But
what you
wasn't
know.
this-
I can see Cenat right now, like asking Kamala Harris about her experience as African American, and I can hear the tweets. I know, bro. Yo. The Democrats got them motherfuckers locked and loaded. I can hear how bad that shit would go.
That's exactly kind of where I was going to get to with that. It becomes a two-edged sword at that point. So if he doesn't give the right kind of pushback or ask the right questions of Kamala, he's going to have different segments of society getting pissed off at him that he didn't ask about reparations or he didn't do this.
No,
Then
no.
he
What
were to
if
bring
he
Trump
did
on-
though?
Let me finish. Then if he were to interview Trump, you would be having people coming after him for poor platforming and giving Trump a spotlight in a community that they don't feel he should have. So he doesn't stand to win in a lot of different areas. Yes, maybe he could possibly ask all the right questions. I'm not going to say what it would or could be. Like, that's just me dreaming at this point.
What if
But-
he did something like Lex Friedman, right? And he hosted it on his platform like a debate, and he got like a neutral moderator or a contentious moderator for both sides.
I feel like at that point he's no longer doing his content. Now you're just asking him to hold a national debate.
No. That nigga did like non-Kai Cenat content before. That nigga did shit like that before.
that
I mean, you can
Or
say
the whole
like, oh, he
I mean-
does stuff that's different from his content, but I'm just saying what you're asking him to do isn't Kai Cenat content. Like,
I mean, sure. Okay, fine. It's not Kai Cenat traditional content. There's gonna be a new segment. Hey, now niggas, I'm political. Here's a new Kai Cenat segment.
he doesn't want to ever do that, and I'm like,
I'll respect that. Yeah, of course. We're only speaking hypothetically. I'm asking Lethe because of but just a follow up to his answer. Like, do you think that would be a good thing if it's possible? Obviously, that he would bring up, like, do a Lex Friedman type of thing, or bring up people that are adequate, kind of like what's those two niggas that
But
Destiny
in my
and that.
opinion, no, I would not think it's good because, like I said, I'd be the portion of society saying is bad platforming and allowing Trump to reach people that he should not have and would not have been able to reach.
But okay,
ultimately, everybody's going to have a different opinion on that.
sure, of
Yeah.
course. I would say, like, I understand people saying bad platforming, right? But I do. Don't you think? Do you agree with me, Lethe, that to platform somebody and then have adequate pushback and demonstrate how silly they are and they have no idea what they're talking about, don't you think that hurts their image more than it helps? I'm not saying it helps zero, but on a net benefits a calculus, don't you think it would hurt their image more?
Not entirely
No.
off topic, but I sat through a 5-hour-long conversation where somebody was not going to change their mind on something yesterday. For certain
Right,
people,
right.
no
Let's
amount
say
of
niggas-
information is going
I
to
feel
make
like-
a difference.
But Lethe, I agree with you, right? Like, there's gonna be niggas there's gonna be niggas that not gonna change their mind no matter what. And so the thing about platforming people is not to change those niggas' minds, but to change niggas that's on the fence. And I can't think of a better way to like pull somebody to your side than to embarrass somebody by exposing that they have no idea what they're talking about.
I understand what you're
Oh,
saying,
Hopefully
but
his
this goes back
demographics are
to
gonna-
This goes back to the issue people have with like canceling. Like people have made that argument. Oh, the best way to point out bad ideas is to give them sunlight, and that doesn't seem to be true. If you actually think that someone spews horrible ideas, the best thing you could do is like remove them from relevancy. They shouldn't. They shouldn't be allowed to speak at all.
Why do you say
Like
that?
Yeah,
that-
the first substrate.
Why
So
do you say that?
Well, because that's what ends up happening. Like people thought that like, oh,
Yeah.
not platforming Alex Jones is gonna make Alex Jones bigger because they're gonna think he's saying something that people,
No, I didn't make that
are crazy.
argument.
No, that's what a
Oh,
lot
no,
of.
you did.
I'm
No,
saying
you
it's part of the same framing. It's like the best thing you can do if you think Alex Jones is crazy is platform him everywhere so people can see how crazy he is, and that
That
but
did
that
not.
didn't happen. Like I said, they took him off the internet, and Alex Jones' influence shrunk with it. That seems to be, if you feel like someone is irresponsible, platforming them isn't the way to like prove
I get
they're
what
irresponsible.
I get what you're
So-
saying, and I agree with it with the whole what's that nigga Terrence Howard situation? That nigga should not be platformed, absolutely. Especially
But,
on
like-
that
But
nigga
there's
just
a
like
difference
made more people.
There's a difference between Alex Jones and Donald Trump, right? Like, I think that you can tell Alex Jones to shut the fuck up and push him in the corner. But if you have somebody to the magnitude of Donald Trump, just saying, "Hey, fuck it, we're going to deplatform this person," that's a horrible idea. Like, you're pushing an entire group of people to go wherever the fuck like that's not. I don't think that those two things are fair to compare to each other because you're talking about something that can't be silenced to someone that could be. Like, you could tell Alex Jones to shut the fuck up. You could tell a conspiracy theorist that, but you can't do that to one Donald Trump.
Yeah.
One, I don't think you understand how big Alex Jones was at his peak. He was ridiculously
huge.
big.
No, no.
But the other second thing was it wasn't necessarily to speak to the deplatforming of Trump because obviously he's been deplatformed and he's still here. But I was speaking to the idea of like, should Kai bring on both of them? Like, if he's done research and he truly believes one of them is despicable, he should give all of his platforming to one and none to the other. That's the like if he's trying if he believes that one's good and one's worth advocating for, then like if he's done the research you ask of him, then he doesn't have to act like he's a neutral party who needs to talk to both of them.
I get what you're saying. What if he doesn't do a neutral party thing, but still brings
Like
him
you
on?
said,
I mean, then that would just be an option. Like, I just don't think that would be the best option. I think
that'd
like I
probably
said,
be one of the worst options.
I don't know. Like
because
I don't know. Like
has already said he doesn't really know anything about politics or anything like that. He doesn't want to know anything about it. So if he tries to bring them on, even if he does like the crackpot real quick snap research into everything, if he brings on say Trump,
what if he
someone
brings
who's-
on Destiny to debate Donald Trump? That shit would be hilarious.
Be the
where
weirdest
he just
crossover episode in
if
the
he were
history
to
of
bring on
episodes.
Trump to ask him questions and shit like that, Trump would basically have carte blanche
Destiny,
to say and
I
do whatever he wants.
heard that you and your wife. I can hear that shit. Like I.
Nah, I want to hear him say. I want him to say that. That would be so
no,
against.
that this shit. Gonna be
You
so
know how many
bad.
Republicans are
He
cucks?
would- well, obviously, Trump doesn't know. Wouldn't know.
You know how many
know anything
Republicans are
about
cucks? Like
Destiny, but-
actual?
Destiny. First off, that's a girl's name. They told me you and your wife, you're not doing so good.
that doesn't exactly.
That
I've
is
heard
pretty
very
good.
bad things. Not good.
That's
Not
as
good at
straight
all.
as-
Soulless.
I've
That's
had
really
I've had
good.
3 wives. I've had many wives. The most wives anyone's ever had. They say.
That's good. That's really good.
But yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, except in the tier of like everyone in here, like I said, if he could be super educated and then have a good interview with her. But the other thing is, I don't think he would speak to her about reparations because he's not Black American. I know you're not Black American, and like the advocacy doesn't start and stop with Black Americans. I just don't know if I don't know if that would be like even if he was politically involved, I don't think reparations would be up at the top of the.
I mean, that's fine. I
the
don't think
program.
I don't think he needs to. And
He's one of your Haitian brothers, Prime. Do y'all care about reparations? Generally,
he's not
actually did-
Jamaican.
No, he's
No, I think he's
Haitian and
Haitian.
Trinidadian. I looked
Yeah.
it up just a little bit ago. So we love to see our Haitian brothers rise. And we love to see Black Americans fall. Like there's got to be. It's still
You know
some
what's
game.
funny? I actually
but
hear
no,
people.
I of course we yeah. Well, I've said not we. We don't spin on Olive. I care about it, so we'll leave it there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bam. I actually changed my mind about the term Black American. Like a lot of people do identify as Black American, even though they're not ADOS. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's just like a personal preference term. I guess like, and it's a subjective meaning thing. So like, I used to be like, oh, Black America is only ADOS, but at this point, it just depends what people
I only
I
discovered
think
mean.
y'all
that
all black.
on Twitch. I only
Black American.
discovered that
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Twitch. On Twitch is where people have been making this argument. I discovered from Fanatic and Gambit. I think Bam, might have said something similar.
I
to
said this
I
too
discovered
in the beginning.
to you guys said, and you guys were like acting like this was some sort of like this is some sort of ironclad rule, or this is like some really popular trend. But like all my experience of other Black people have not had that. Lots of Black Americans or people. Lots of people call themselves Black Americans or African Americans or switch it up or like add ethnicity. I don't think
Yeah,
people
it's
have
interchangeable.
unpatched over
Yeah.
these things. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
this
you
is the new
understand
patch
that Black
update
folks
that
in America.
this is the new
Oh,
patch
go on,
update that
Silas.
niggas is jacking. I don't know where it came from.
Academia. It's academia.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like
Oh
every
yeah, you a
decade.
Dominican nigga. Is there any other? Is there any? I'm the only Ados here. What is Razor? You a Dojin? A
And
biracial
bam,
Dojin?
and bam.
Pause,
Technically,
pause real quick.
I'm ADOS too.
I
Technically,
just need the ball in my hand. On my dead homies, you might find a nigga as black as me, but you will never find a nigga blacker than me. I just had to say. It. And you were saying,
would you find a nigga more Dominican than you with the tight ass G?
no, most niggas is more Dominican than me on phone grade. It's a lot
Oh, yeah, I
more.
am ADOS, yeah.
It's a lot more. That's the shit I hate, bro. Cause my dad's half. That shit blows me. My dad is half. He's black and Dominican, and my mom's black. I'm just black and black. I just don't not mention the Dominican part because that'd be fucked up. Just act like it don't exist.
Quarter Dominican.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, quarter
Every-
Dominican. Ah,
Every
Dominicano.
10 years or so, we kind of change what like Black descendants of slaves change what we call each other. So we went from being Negroes to being being colored to being Negroes to being African American to being Black to being African American again. It changes all the time.
Yeah.
Offended by the
I
standard,
don't
though?
prefer African American because I could never tell you where in Africa my family came from. Like I couldn't even I couldn't begin to say, oh well, I'm Ghanaian and I can't do it.
Are y'all offended by the standard though? That bother you?
What'd you just say?
Standard though. What
Negro.
standard though? Oh, Negro.
I mean,
No,
Yeah, but I think somebody shouldn't be calling me a Negro today. But I understand the sentiment.
I use that all the. I hear that all the time. I use that, but not. It's not very frequent. It's kind of like in a playful way, like this Negro right here, like that kind of
I
thing.
was just about to say, talk about this. If because this is how they talk back then. If an old white woman called you a Negro, but not on no bullshit with you, not like on that with you, but that's how she talk. Would you be offended by it?
Oh no, that happened to me at work. This lady was like 92, and then she was calling me to work on her insurance stuff, blah blah blah. And somebody had the TV up, and she said, "Cut the TV down. I'm talking to a nice Negro boy." And but like I didn't say anything, but I was like, maybe she wasn't around. Maybe that's all she know. Maybe that's the word. Like
she probably heard other niggas say that shit.
100%. I'll admit it right now. My grandfather's still living. He's a kind man, loving man. He's been all over the world. This man still calls Asian people Orientals. That's the word. That's his word choice. He's like, oh, you talking about
my grandfather did too. Is crazy.
Yeah, like I said,
that's a word I'm fine with.
Talking to the old patch update niggas is funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shit. I mean, like, yeah. Oh man.
I used to live.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. I was just gonna say. I used to live right across the street from a Asian market called MOM, and it stands for Manila Oriental Market. And I was like, is that word allowed? When I first saw it, I was like, isn't that like this word banned or something?
Oriental. So my understanding, and maybe my understanding is incorrect, right? Because when I was growing up, I thought at first that Oriental was the polite term. I started using that, and I told my parents to use. My parents don't know one way or the other, and I told them, oh, you got to use Oriental. And Oriental is the polite way. And then I was corrected later on in high school. That wasn't the correct term. It's like, oh, okay, sorry, we had to retreat on this. Like it's Asian. But my understanding is that it's fine to talk about Oriental in terms of goods, which is where like it was usually used, right? Like so, like things from the Orient, right? That area from like.
I hate how
if it's
inconsistent.
like an Oriental rug, then that's fine, but like not Oriental people because that's used to kind of.
We need to start talking about Occidentals, and then once that
Orient is a region, not necessarily a people, so you can decline which person, like you can say Japanese or Asian in general. But
we all gotta agree upon what are slurs and what aren't. You know, so we gotta be willing to give some, take some.
Can we add slurs?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think so.
that'd be so
Mayo
fucked up.
monkey.
If he was like,
Mayo
all right,
monkey.
because could y'all imagine if a motherfucking Asian was like, all right, black people, you're gonna like this. It's pretty funny. Okay, what do we feel about basketball Americans?
We
See,
go-
I got told I
What-
should play basketball for years.
What
but
if they
never
did a
comes my height.
trade?
I mean, never comes my
Can
skin
you imagine
color.
how the trade would look like? We'll
Mhm.
give you. So I can't even say this shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it. Let's not say the words. Let's just keep it as laugh. But I think, but yeah, I do think that. Yeah, I do think like so. I do think that like it is weird that the words update and things like that. But I don't think the sentiments for it's changed. Even if we use different words, I think that ever since there started being a larger influx of black immigrants from like other places in the diaspora, I think that pretty quickly
Including Canadians. Shout out Drake.
the Negroes, Black Americans, the Adosians. That's my new one. I like calling us Adosians.
What's that for?
African descendants of slaves, and you just put the shins on it because
Oh, okay.
he's like a race, like Asians.
Hey,
Adosians.
y'all, I gotta drop out. I had a great night with y'all. I got shit. I really shouldn't even been on tonight, but I promised Prime I'd be on. I will talk to y'all later, and I will definitely be here next week. Prime, don't send me the invite. Just send me in the group chat. If y'all niggas talk hip hop again without me, I'm gonna be where y'all niggas sleep at. Love y'all.
All
I'll
right,
talk to you
let's
later.
talk about hip hop right now.
Drake, like his new album about to drop.
Fuck you, Prime. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I think there's been a sentiment like once the numbers started to increase, I think there's been a sentiment of like, these people have different experiences and backgrounds than us. They're still black and they're still part of our communities and neighborhoods, but the opportunities are falling different. Like everyone and this is just a coincidence because this is internet stuff, but everyone in AMP outside of Duke isn't like some other form of black. Outside of Black American, I don't think we've ever had a Black American reach really a high position in politics. Like a lot of people point to George Bush's Secretary of State, but he was Jamaican. His descendants was Jamaican. Kamala and Barack Obama obviously aren't Black American.
It was Condoleezza.
Oh, they are, but
It's not what you think.
They weren't ADOS then. I'll use ADOS.
There you
then.
go.
They-
But that's the thing. Wait, why aren't Jamaicans considered ADOS?
Mhm. I don't
Aren't
think
they
it's really
African
used
descendants
in
of slaves?
Americas. Well, usually it's American.
But then it should be ADOS.
Defended us, like,
ADOS. Or ADOS.
I don't know. I just think people say American descendants of slaves.
What?
But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
why do you
Condi
think-
is
why do you
like
think
straight
that?
up like American black.
Who?
Condi.
Condoleezza Rice?
Yeah. Born in
Let's
Birmingham,
find out.
Alabama.
her last name's Rice. Did you give me an opportunity? Maybe I'm thinking. Yeah, I was thinking of Colin Powell.
Colin
I think
Powell?
Colin
No, I
Powell
think
is a-
he's Caribbean, isn't he? I could be
Yeah,
wrong. about
Colin
that.
Powell's Caribbean.
Yeah, he's Caribbean.
But yeah, I don't know where Condoleezza Rice is from. Actually, that's a good question. She went to Stillman, Tuscaloosa. Has roots in the American South going back
Black
pre-Civil War.
trade
We got us
apparently.
one. Condoleezza
pretty
Rice. Shout
sure.
out to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
She Baton Rouge.
But they said they did a DNA test and they talking about she goes back to Cameroon. That's you doing too much.
Well,
I mean,
that's
that's
the thing,
that's
like-
everybody though.
That's the thing most of us like don't do. Like we're not gonna figure out the genealogy. So we just know we started at South. Anything before South is just
South is-
gray
Yeah.
up into that point.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Condoleezza Rice is the best. Is our best. She's our best and brightest we've had so far.
You're funny.
And
What about Clarence Thomas?
we don't claim.
Colin claims
Actually,
him.
that's anti-black. Clarence Thomas is unfortunately black.
Yeah, don't Kendrick Lamar him.
Yeah, he is black. Unfortunately, he's just
No,
a
okay.
terrible example of
Yeah,
what black
like,
people are capable of.
No. Specifically, you said your best and brightest. He's bright enough. He ain't our best, so he doesn't count.
I thought by best I was talking about like highest position in office.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You're right.
All right.
Clarence
I
Thomas
just know
did good.
Condi got up there
but
pretty
I would just
high.
point to Thurgood Marshall way before I
The
get to
Supreme Court justice.
You know who I haven't heard of in a long time? Larry Elder. That nigga just went ghost.
Good.
I
Nigga's
think
so
he's
relevant
around.
now.
I'm
Stay
pretty sure
going.
he's still around.
I know, but I'm glad that he's not getting platformed anymore. Get rid of that nigga.
Maybe
I
we should
forgot
have
who he
Kai
was.
Cenat talk to him.
No. Fucking hell.
So yeah, that pretty much went full circle on that because we definitely don't want people getting platformed by important people. Like it wasn't until Destiny had Chicken and Waffles with what's his name, Nick
Nick
Fuentes.
Fuentes.
Then all of a sudden you look up a couple months later, he's sitting in the White House.
Who? Nick Fuentes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he did
Started
that
hanging out
because
with
somehow get
Kanye.
connected to Kanye.
Yeah, and how did he get that connection?
Jackson Hinkle,
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Milo. I knew it was one of those people.
I mean, why did Destiny blacklist Fuentes?
nothing
must
to
have did
do
it
with
for a
He
reason.
anything
should have
politically.
blacklisted him a long time ago.
He blacklisted him related to because he said that one of Nick's fans, one of the Groypers, was trying to get him banned.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, and Nick didn't do
I'll
anything
get a
about it.
blacklisted, yeah.
Yeah.
If you fuck with the channel, you're gonna get fucked up.
So it wasn't even related to any of his political views. But I guess Destiny's consistent on that. I think he'll have really tough arguments with people he thinks disgusting, but just don't try to.
He very much is very consistent in terms of like thinking the outreach is needed, no matter how stupid it is.
When you doing a YouTube stream, bring the old D boy back.
Who?
Prime. I was about to say,
Oh.
we ain't pulled that connect in a while.
Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could do a YouTube only stream.
Yeah. We'll see. I would.
I want to talk to him about reparations. I feel like I can convince him.
I don't know. That may be a fun thing to do. He's like, oh man, I might, all black everything. I'm like, oh no. But do we have things?
There wouldn't be no ABE.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he wants to start saying the N-word, and he's been practicing in the dojo for the last few months. So,
I actually emailed him a while back to discuss reparations.
Do you guys have anything that's specific?
Yeah, I think we have to have a topic. I don't think we bring them on.
Yeah, like if we could have it, so like, hey, like we can make it a thing that black people, want to discuss something with Destiny. I don't know if we could come up with a fancy name for this, right? And then this it'll be like, a bunch of black people just like grilling Destiny about stuff. But we actually have to have something and not some bullshit. All right?
Yeah, because we can't go up there and look bad.
We're not bringing our worst. We know who we're talking about.
So absolutely not win at Alicia. Yeah, he had this woman named Annalicia on.
I think I would want to talk about him, but I feel like he wouldn't want to talk about that. That's
I think it went on for 2 days, and basically this woman hated black men. So Destiny hit up every black dude he knew to like.
Wait, Prime, you should know about this. You don't know about this?
Fanatic even spoke to her.
I vaguely heard about this like second or third hand, but I was involved with.
I think Prime literally just plays video games. Like it's weird for someone who's like I think he reads a little bit. He reads news and he plays video games, but like socially he checks out from a lot of stuff. I don't know how you existed this. Like you don't engage in social media. You just kind of.
I absolutely don't engage in social media. I watch and read a lot of news. I start every day with reading news. Or at least watching a video at the very least. Like daily news updates. I spend hours per day, like at least like 5 hours a day, like intake. That's the minimum intaking news. Sometimes I'm doing other things at the same time though. Like it's not like me just dedicated to it.
Yeah, but it's not like social news you involve in though. It's
social
like
media. That's not news. It's not. Yeah, like actual news is what I.
Can we talk about how horrible Supercell is? I love the concept.
I don't.
But it's terrible execution.
It was maybe not. I was hoping someone else is going to come on, but I don't think they are. But I do want us to start thinking. If you guys want to do this, like this sounds like a good idea, right? Like let's do a thing, right? I'll hit them up and be like, "Do you want to come on?" And these are the topics. We have to have topics first. But yeah, topics you want to.
I'll be curious to what topics would want to talk about.
anything. I don't think. Well,
Like-
he won't talk about anything. He has to care a little bit, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's a good thing that we would come up with topics, and I'm curious that if he may not have it, but
well,
I don't see-
it would be based off of positions he's already given. It would
Yeah.
be based off something we disagree with him on.
Yeah, like
Well,
if we can find.
yeah, of course. I wonder what black topic that he wants to talk about is what I'm saying.
I'm saying it's irrelevant what he wants to talk about.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
if he's given an opinion that you disagree with, he'll fight. He'll
Yeah, it has
honor
to
his
be
points.
something that he will be divisive, that we hold a different.
Yeah, of
opinion
course.
on.
I know that.
no,
I'm saying like I don't know like every black issue topic that he like. I don't know about every
What did it have
position
to
that you
do
know.
with,
I,
So
I
I
don't
wonder-
think, I don't think you should necessarily. It's weird. Like I think it makes us look weird if we like go looking for it. Like I don't know. It just
What
has
do
to
you
be something.
mean?
It has to be like a bit of a natural.
What I'm saying is
I mean, I always want to.
I wonder if-
what their takes on rehabilitation.
So, I don't know what you
and,
mean.
Charitability is.
Yeah, I don't know what
So-
you mean by natural here. Like, if we're
Who?
planning a segment, then why wouldn't we do research?
No, I don't mean like I'm just saying that like it's fine to have a position, but I'm saying that it has to be like I think it's dumb if it's not a legitimate disagreement. It was like, oh, we found them saying
Yeah, of
something about black
course.
people. I can
Yeah.
probably come up with the opposite end of it. Like that
No,
doesn't
of
feel like
course.
that doesn't go far. We probably
I
wouldn't go far.
wasn't even closely suggesting that. I just want to know maybe he can give, I don't know, 3 positions about something related to black topics or black issues. And then I'll be like, oh, okay. I guess we all agree. I guess there's nothing to talk about these 3. Let me see if he disagrees. Let me come up with stuff. And then it will be like a back of our conversation. But if he
He's
does
not
have
gonna do
some,
that.
That's
That's
not
why
gonna
we
work.
should have multiple
not
topics.
me and him, but like it would be a
I'm saying he's not
conversation.
gonna do that with anybody. You're saying, hey, come have this conversation.
I
Tell me
thought
what you
him
think
and Prime.
about this.
I thought him and Prime were. You're not listening to me, Bam. Please. This would be before the conversation happened. This would be a discussion about what type of conversation would happen. So it would be between him and Prime, right? It could be like a few
That's what I
messages
mean
a
by
day.
not natural.
Who the fuck cares if it's unnatural? It could
I
be
don't think- I don't
pre-planned.
think anybody
The
would have
audience.
that type of.
Why would the
conversation.
audience care if it's pre-planned debate?
No, the natural bit.
So,
Jesus.
Why would
okay,
if it's not natural, it's pre-planned, right, Razor?
So,
You're not
Destiny and I
understanding what
don't have a close relationship. That's not a thing that we
Okay.
have, right?
Not anymore, or
all,
what
all
happened?
Oh.
No. It's just always. We've never had a close relationship. It's never been a thing.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay.
We're
You never had
acquaintances.
chicken and waffles with them.
We're acquaintances. That's it. And so when I send him stuff, right? You guys think, oh, I haven't pulled this card. I actually have. I sent him a bunch of stuff, and he has been uninterested in. And so if I send him something, it's pretty much like one chance, right? You send him something. If he's interested in it, he'll let you know. If not, then he won't. And you can't change his mind afterwards, right? So we have to come to him with a proposal that he'll be interested in and he's going to agree to. And then maybe we can do some refinements afterwards. But like it's a one and done thing. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any topics then as of right now. Maybe there were before, but right now I don't see anything that we could talk about. That would garner his attention.
I mean, it's not even really attention. Like I think
Well,
I
like-
think even if it was a position from 5 years ago, if you say like, "Hey, I think you were dumb here," he's the type of personality that would like defend something if he still believes in it. I think it would just take the effort of like reviewing some of his content when he's spoken on things related to black people. Like I think that or just in general, I think that he's given something that I can't remember off the top. I was about to say it, then I lost it that quick. But he's said things relating to black people that I've had contention with, especially related to low tier God. He has this idea of like a new black.
You talking about like the screaming black Twitch people or whatever?
No, not that. I thought that definition was actually kind of accurate, even if people found it racist. He thinks that like there's a type of black person, and that he calls the new blacks, that he ascribes Fresh and Fit to, that are
Like extremist performative people?
I don't know if that would be it. It's somehow he basically ascribes them to be different. Well, one, because they're not Black American, he considers that, which
Wait, low tier God is not Black American?
I don't think so.
He looks ADOS to me. I've seen niggas like him walk the street all the time.
It's where you said walk the street. Like some I feel like nowadays don't walk the street. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's like a type of black person that has a new opinion that thinks they're better than other blacks and thinks that the black community is like destroyed and corrupt and like
That's
valueless.
not really new though. That's kind of been like what ADOS black people have felt of black people that come from other countries for a long time. I think Fanatic also feels the same way, or his voice such.
Here's a question. I wonder what Destiny thinks a black person is.
Someone with darker
It's
skin, I guess.
going to be pretty close to everyone else's there. Someone with a black parent of black descent. Because he even defended Kamala. He thinks the Republicans are making really dumb things for attacking her race.
Because you guys know my position. I would hope, or maybe you don't. But
I could maybe ask like Dibby knows his he generally has a better idea on Destiny's current opinions on things certainly than I do. And maybe he'll have something we can discuss. But like the thing is, the problem is I'm not like a watcher like the band was saying. So I don't
I'm a
have
watcher. I'm pretty caught up.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Well,
then
it just stays on during work. Like I said, he's not doing anything right now outside of.
Yeah, he's just doing the January 6th stuff and like.
Yeah, I haven't been disagreeing with anything he's been saying recently.
Which I like. That's when I watch Destiny. Otherwise, I don't really watch him.
It doesn't necessarily have to be black book because we could brand it as black people grilling Destiny, but maybe necessarily not black folks.
I remember disagreeing with him on the City Bike Karen. On his position on that.
Yeah, it's super old right now.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it's something we.
It'll come up naturally at some point.
What is
where did you come from? Don't just sneak in here and start talking.
I've been in here.
City Bike Karen in New York, that nurse that wouldn't give up her bike away to those.
AJ's a hot. Oh, never mind.
Huh?
Who is AJ?
Actual Justice Warrior.
What about him? I actually used to like him, but
he kind of like when Destiny watched his take on it. Destiny's take kind of paralleled with his, and then as this dude's been doing more and more videos, he's shown himself to be extremely disingenuous.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to like AJW because to me he seemed more like a centrist. Like he used to say he's like fiscally conservative and socially like liberal, and then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then
anyone who does the anti SJW shit always goes full chud. I fucking
the name should have been a dead giveaway.
I didn't trust him for a second.
No,
I think he's actually. I think. Well,
I generally think he. I generally think he like something happened like in his shifting of his thoughts where it said like very earlier on. I felt like he was very good at like critiquing and like every video about Hassan Piker. Yeah, every video about Hassan Piker. I guess because it's an easy dunk. Yeah. So I was like, I always watch his videos about Anna Kasparian, the Cenk Uyghur, and Hassan Piker. Those are the videos that I like the most. But now that I'm seeing him debate like somebody that's actually knowledgeable, because anyone can look good when they're debating somebody not knowledgeable on the topic. So I guess I had a skewed. I had the same way with like what's that nigga name? Steven Crowder. I used to watch his show all the time. Two hours a day. Like I used to watch that shit every day, 2 hours a day. And then
bro.
No, I'm just saying this used to be the old me before I grew up, like actually it typically they did something insane and then they're like, oh shit, I can't watch them no more. And what Steven Crowder did was number one, the whole debate against Yusuf, just call like Yusuf said, oh, I don't think that's a reasonable position or that's autistic. And he's like, oh, autistic? How dare you? I'm like, nigga, you said way worse. Why are you hopping on that? And then secondly, Steven Crowder was like pressing somebody that was graffiti writing on the wall and like super hard. I'm like, bro, just leave him alone, bro. It's none of your business, bro. And then those were like, okay, I gotta stop watching it. And then even and then like as soon as I stopped watching him, he just got way more extreme. Then he had this whole thing with his wife. Yeah, that shit. I had to stop watching him for sure.
I don't think Steven Crowder is qualified, but I think that I think y'all are undervaluing the actual Justice Warrior dude. I don't think, like I said, I don't
Really?
like the positions he comes to, but I think he's very informed on the things you want to talk
No,
about.
He's disingenuous. Like if you, I don't know if you saw the
I
recent
just wanted
debate.
to finish the sentence. I'm saying I think he's very qualified I think he's very knowledgeable in the things he has discussions on. I think that if you
Really?
I think that if you go into a conversation with him and you like don't know every fact of the thing you're talking about, he's one of the people that will very easily make you look dumb. Another
Yeah.
conservative that's good as Rob Noor.
That's-
But whether
but
you like Rob Noor or not, Rob Noor is gonna know all the little details of the things he's talking about.
But of course, but that's of course, I would agree with you, right? Like if somebody seems like they're talking about something and you don't know,
No, it's not just seems. Like
no.
they do know the details.
What? Okay,
They're
if
just
somebody
liars.
at least,
Y'all
right?
not listening to Dream. Y'all not listening to what Dream is saying.
Bam. Like, let's say he does know what he's talking about, but at least if they seem like they don't know what they're talking about, they could walk circles all around you. If you're like unsure, like, I don't know enough for, so they would just walk circles around you, and that's just what you don't even know if they know what they're talking about, right? That's one. Two, I was watching a
Being
recent debate
confidently
about
wrong can sometimes get you through better than being
Yep.
correct but still unsure.
So recently with his debate against Destiny, I didn't make the claim that he's uninformed or whatever. I'm saying that he's actually disingenuous, meaning that he's bad faith, meaning that Destiny asked like a direct question, very simple. It was very, very simple. You couldn't obfuscate more than what this nigga actual AJW did, bro. That nigga was like refusing to answer the most simple direct question ever. I was like,
I think humans
like when somebody like AJW does that because he harps on people not answering direct questions. He's the nigga that usually like answer the direct question. If you're that nigga that does that and you're not answering the direct question, that means you're being disingenuous and you're trying to hide something, or you're like, you know the answer is going to be bad, so you're trying your hardest not to answer it the way that
I think that's pretty human though. I think most people, like once you get deep down to a debate, when people
Bam, that's only your kind.
No, it's not.
That's only your kind.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm saying I think that a lot of people when they get put in tough positions on things, especially when they're debating and like honoring their values, I think a lot of times people will try to move themselves out of corners.
Yeah, but that's called disingenuous.
But
whether or not it's human, it's disingenuous. Whether or not it's human,
then everyone's disingenuous. Then it means nothing.
No.
Destiny does that. Destiny will get into a corner and he'll acknowledge, that's not important. I don't want to talk about that. He'll when people get put in uncomfortable realities, because and especially if they don't feel like it speaks to the heart of what they're speaking to.
Has he done that?
Yes, he does done that. Everyone's
sure.
done
No. I'm saying, has he done that?
I'm
yes.
just finishing out a statement.
I haven't seen that recently.
I think that I think that what's dangerous and not dangerous. I think that what you guys doing are normal and human too. You're saying that like, oh, I thought this person was smart. Then they started saying things I disagreed with. Now they're not smart anymore. Like I don't know if they were in this. You were actually paid attention to what made them smart in the first place. There's people who are really intelligent that make really good arguments that what are you saying?
My problem with him isn't that he's not smart. It's that I noticed he was smart enough to not answer things that are obviously true so that he can make his ideological position, which is wrong. That's why I don't like him. And that's why he sucks.
That's what
it's because he doesn't believe the stuff that he's saying. He's trying to put together a picture with the stuff that he believes is true, and then he's working against the truth to try and make that look like what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's to some degree all political advocacy. I think Cenk Uygur does it. I think everyone on Fox News does it.
You think political advocacy is denying the truth to give the perception that your warped reality is true? I
think you're saying that in a way that sounds really bad, but yes.
Wow.
I think that all political advocacy,
he's technically correct.
Places a focus emphasis on the things that you like that make your argument, and somebody else can have another thing that makes your argument weaker, and you're not going to talk about those things. You're only going to talk about the things that make.
But that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
I'm saying if you have a conversation with someone, you're going to try to avoid things that make your argument look weaker as well.
But that's not what he said.
I feel like you're not grasping what I'm saying, and you're making an argument you're making an argument that's true, but it's irrelevant to what I'm saying.
Okay. You're saying that he doesn't acknowledge things that are obviously true.
No. I'm saying he knows the facts of the matter of what's true, and he lies in order to make his ideological position look better.
Wait, do you think he lies or does he obfuscate?
No,
Does he
yes, I
make him-
use the word lie specifically.
Okay, so
I'm
he
not
says
saying that he says something I disagree with. I'm saying
no.
he
I'm not saying he's
knowingly
saying something you
lies.
disagree. I'm saying does he
No, he
obfuscate? Like does
knowingly
he
lies
avoid?
and obfuscates the truth to make his opinion appear to look better. Unless he runs into a nigga that actually knows what they're talking about, and he can't do that.
Okay. Do you think that he's unique in that? Do you think that that's
Nope.
No, I think there's a lot of bad faith people. I don't think he's uniquely bad faith. No, there's a lot of bad faith people.
okay? Who do you think is a good faith person? Who a person who doesn't do that ever?
I would say out of the like popular people, I would definitely say Destiny is the best. But
I would say they're currently good faith people doesn't mean they've never been bad faith. Man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, who were you talking about before? I thought you were saying Destiny was bad faith previously. Were you talking about someone else? Did I miss?
No, we're talking about
No,
We're
we're
talking
talking
about
about
AJW.
actual justice.
Oh,
Yeah.
AJW. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Sorry, I thought you guys were talking about Destiny. All right, excuse me. All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
like.
Destiny is I think there's a couple of conversations I've had him cornered in, and he like doesn't answer like he should, but he bites bullets more than anybody
I think Lex
in
Friedman is
that
also
popular
pretty cool.
space.
Sure, I think he does more than anybody.
But Lex Friedman isn't giving. He hasn't
Yeah,
been grilled on his opinion, right?
Yeah, he hasn't. He hasn't been grilled. He's not a. He's a very like trying to have a perception of neutrality. Yeah, I get it. But at least I don't think he's ever dodged a question. I don't think he's done that.
But I
Or at
don't
least
think
I
he's
haven't
been
seen
in a
it.
position to be pushed to ask questions like the
Oh,
debate.
I know who's the best faith actor on the internet. I know him. Oh my, he's better than Destiny.
Jordan Peterson.
Nope.
Yeah,
His name is
Jordan Peterson. Yeah.
I think Jordan Peterson actually is an example of everything that you said that you didn't like.
No, not at all.
I think he obfuscates constantly from
No.
answering tough questions. Like you say something, he's like, "That's really interesting, but we shouldn't go there. We should start at this other." Like I think he obfuscates constantly.
Alex
I don't
O'Connor.
think
Alex
you can, I don't think you
O'Connor.
can point me to a
Alex
single
O'Connor's
video
pretty
where I have.
great.
Alex O'Connor is the best faith nigga in the YouTube sphere.
Who is Alex?
I don't know who that
who
is.
he
A
is.
cosmic
He's
skeptic.
he's cosmic skeptic.
Hey, oh yeah, I like Cosmic. I mean, I've seen some things in the past I've
Oh.
liked about him. But anyway, Gambit, the guys were talking about, and I'm not sure if we can actually do this, but us like coming up with like some topics, and making a thing where basically black people grill Destiny, maybe on his views on race, but or maybe something else. But like, what do you think about that? I don't actually watch Destiny, so I don't know what would be a good topic.
I haven't been watching that much as of late. As long
Do
as
people know what his
we don't talk about the N-word debate, that's like
Yeah, this
I
is
don't
what I
know.
would
So-
actually like to avoid.
do you know what his take on rehabilitation is? I want to talk about him. I want to talk to him about that. I didn't like black.
I'm sure he's pro rehab within reason, as probably most people are.
I think the Kai Cenat thing that we were talking about today is the closest we could get to for a topic, like the black community voting for or against Trump, and if him being platformed in the black community would be a good thing. I think that would be closer because he's more on the Trump topic right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
But what would any of us disagree?
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was
think-
talking about. Like, I don't think there's a current disagreement, except maybe reparations. Like, isn't like Destiny like against reparations? That's the only thing I can think of.
I think
Well,
he's
against it
against
because
reparations for
it's a-
slavery, but I think things that are more contemporary, he would immediately agree that something should be done. I think I could be wrong.
reparation
about
thing. I remember. It's like his thing was literally just that
I think he
it's
used to have it the opposite.
it'll be a not statistical, a bureaucratical nightmare or something like that. What the fuck was it?
I think you said the exact
Logistics nightmare.
opposite of his
Logistics
opinion.
nightmare.
His opinion is actually slavery is the only one that actually makes sense because it's related to it's related to Lincoln's stolen promise. It's a debt that's sold. He's saying that when
No, I'm pretty sure that's not true.
I've heard him give this exact opinion on it.
I'm pretty sure me and him have talked about this topic before.
That's cool. I'm okay. So I'm telling you what he exactly said. He said that he can get behind the concept of reparations related to slavery. He said, but whenever you talk about other negative externalities races have faced at that point,
well,
I just want to make sure.
Had a conversation.
Hold on.
It.
I just want to make sure. I'm clear on what you think.
Mm-hmm.
If I walk through the things that happened to Black vets after Vietnam, where they weren't given the GI Bill and their white counterparts were, you think he would say, no, they shouldn't get that. We should get reparations for slavery, though. That's your position. I'm fairly certain you're 100%.
I think he would say that was bad, but I think when you connect it to bad things that have happened to people throughout history, his argument is like you get into a weeds because everyone's had like that you can point to a number of groups that have had like negative things that have happened to them through history, but that's not what reparations is.
I will personally go on his stream tomorrow to ensure that you're wrong.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
But like
wait. You're saying if Destiny would be against?
I'm not guessing. I'm going by what he said.
No. You think Destiny's position is that he believes that if you can demonstrate harm, sufficiently that he wouldn't advocate for restitution for that harm.
Yeah, but he doesn't think reparations as far as giving money to people is a thing related to harm. He said that it was based on based on the repayment of a debt that was owed. It was Lincoln broke his promise. 48.
Like the GI Bill.
I would more than likely just the one.
Wait. The debt that was owed was given because of the harm.
But the debt,
it's just downstream.
It hasn't been paid. But no, it's not related to a harm. It's a debt that was never paid.
Right.
Man,
why was the debt? Why is there a debt in the first place? Is the question, Bam.
You're not. Again, why are you? I'm not holding me to his position. Again, the debt. Lincoln made his agreement for whatever reason he made it for, but it was never paid out.
Right. But I'm saying, even if it wasn't promised, it doesn't mean that it's not owed, right, Bam?
No, that you're not. Why are you asking me? I'm saying that's not Destiny's position.
No.
Because he doesn't care about moral, like this bad thing.
Hold on, Bam.
No.
Hold on. I know you're going to grill him on this. I'll listen to y'all. But, Bam, would you be willing to place a wager on this?
For sure.
It sounds like you feel really strong. So we would bet.
Wait a minute. I don't. You
50 subs to Prime. Let's bet 50 subs to Prime.
No, I wouldn't do 50.
Well, who's right?
No,
how many will you do? No. How many will you do? I'll do
wait a minute. I don't know. I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to say. Okay.
No, just tell me a number.
I'm trying to say words out of my mouth. I don't know if I could make this bet with you because you're weird on how you you're weird on how you see things. Like
then you the terms.
Huh? I mean, it's not a terms thing, it's a perspective thing.
Right.
Like,
wait. Yeah. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna be very clear though, because I agree with you that there can be nuance. So let's make this really simple. We'll say, hey, Destiny, you're able to give reparations for two things. One is the Vietnam vets and the GI Bill that they didn't receive after fighting the war. Two, there's reparations of any kind for slavery. Which of these are you most in favor of? That's the question that we'll ask him.
Not slavery.
No, that's what you said.
No, I said the debt that was owed of Lincoln's broken promise.
Whatever that means to you. Yeah, whatever that means to you. We'll ask him that. The debt that's owed because of Lincoln's promise. Whatever that means to you. And we'll say the Vietnam vets and the GI Bill that they weren't given. And we'll say, which of these would you be most in favor of? And the person that loses gifts Prime 50 subs, right?
Wait a second.
I'm not agreeing to 50, but I'll do 10.
How many you'll agree to?
I know
whatever your amount.
I'll do 10.
No, just give me an amount. 10.
I said 10.
Cool. No, it's over. No, wait. I'm done. I'm out.
And it's not a which one. I'm saying that it's not a which one. I'm saying that he doesn't like. I'm saying he agree because if he agrees to both, that feels weird.
That's what.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is so weaselly.
Is that weaselly? If he says both, then
if it says both, then none of you win. But GSU's question is, which one are you more in favor of?
But I don't. Now you're asking me something. Now you're asking something different. I'm just telling you what he said out of his mouth, and you're saying, well, now we have to talk. Now you want me to weigh how much, which one is more.
No. What you said out of your mouth was he doesn't support this type because of these reasons that you felt like he gave, where he doesn't care about more than blah blah blah. You
No,
were
I didn't say
arguing with
it.
me.
You were the one that brought up the GI Bill.
You
So
did say
I
that.
just, I
think
said
Van needs to
he
go to
doesn't.
church.
I said he doesn't care about things related to people being treated badly. He said because everyone's been treated badly. I'm saying when you talk about a debt that's owed, that's his position on reparations. And actually, we can solve this right now because I can pull up the video of it.
No. I
You don't,
can go over this
so you
tomorrow,
don't
but
want it.
you're
You
not.
don't want. If I can pull up evidence right
I don't
now, that
want
wouldn't
to,
be
Ben. I don't want to because I can just ask him tomorrow. I don't want to.
But
I don't want to waste
you
the time.
wouldn't want to answer tonight.
No, I don't.
Okay. That sounds reasonably too.
Oh, but he's gonna ask
Anyways,
me
Because
directly.
he's not.
We gotta go.
Wait,
Let's
wait,
go.
wait.
Let's go. I gotta go.
Huh?
Talk to you guys
Anymore.
later.
Have a good one.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah, if
All
you,
right,
yeah. I mean, if he wants to talk to him tomorrow, then let him talk to him tomorrow.
Well, so to be specific, and why I'm not weaseling you, my problem is there's not going to be a video that is specific to the question that me and you just talked through. It's going to be a video about something else, and you're going to be trying to apply
No,
his
I'm just
principle to this
applying him
situation.
saying that I think reparations
Yeah, and that's
is
what
something
I don't want to do
specifically
that.
related
I
to a
don't
debt.
want to. No. Listen, bro. This is all I'm saying. I don't want to listen to him talk about thing A and say, well, if he said this in this video, then he probably believes thing B
Not
over here.
probably. I'm
Well,
just saying.
No, I don't want to do that when I actually just have easy access to him. I can drop in his Discord at any point, ask him a question, and be out. I do it all the time. So like, I'm just saying that we don't have to waste the time.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
literally have. He's not Jordan Peterson. We
So,
can just ask him. Like,
so he's not Jordan Peterson. So why don't you so we have the exact wording of the question now? Like, are you agreed on what was said previously? Like the exact wording?
Well, I mean, he's framed my question as whatever you said. I don't know if that's an exact
well,
word.
I want you to write out. I want you to write out whatever you think the most charitable version of the question is to your opinion, and that's the question I'll ask him tomorrow.
Yeah.
So whatever you give me, I might disagree with it if you say something wild, but I likely won't disagree. And whatever you send me, I will literally read it and get his opinion tomorrow, and then just drop out.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Cool.
Then why don't we leave it at this? We're way over time. But hold on. So our built environment says, read Destiny. A convo on how to address housing would be interesting from his voting advocacy and canvassing experiences. So a conversation about how to address housing would be interesting from his voting advocacy. So are you saying our built environment that hopefully you're still here. I'm not sure when you sent this. Like just on housing policy in general, like housing first thing, or like how to lower rent or anything like that. I'm gonna give you like a minute or so to answer that question. After that, we'll head out. So send me the answer to what it is. Or you could also DM me in Discord too if you can't make it. But yeah, send me the answer to that question. Like specifically, what about housing might that be? Because maybe it might be an interesting topic. I'm not quite sure what it is. So I'm gonna give you a minute here. And then if not, then you can just DM me on Discord. Feel free to do so. And I'd love to hear what you have to say. All right. So while we're waiting for that minute to pass, yeah, I wish we could have had you here, Gambit. I really wanted to hear your thoughts on the Kai Cenat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like stayed up late last night arguing with Solus
I hate you.
after work.
I hate you.
After work, I fell asleep and I woke up super late because
3
I had been
a.m.
up all
Prime.
night.
It was 3 a.m. when I got to go to sleep.
Dude, it probably was like, no, yeah. Oh, you're on the West Coast. Yeah, it was like 6 a.m. for me.
Okay. I am not seeing this question come in. So I'll keep looking. Oh, hold on, here it is. He's had a controversial topics on California housing before, but I'd be interested to know what he's heard from canvassing on how to address the cost of housing. Cost of housing, okay. Maybe not perfect, but addressing housing is vital. I agree. Addressing
man.
housing is vital. I'll write it down. Ask.
My fear is me and Destiny are going to agree and we're going to disagree with Prime.
on how to lower the cost of so hun, you mean specifically on the cost of housing, you think you would disagree with me on the
Yeah,
that's
yeah, for
probably,
sure.
I mean you're both shit-eating liberals, so yeah,
You
that makes
remember
sense.
we had a 7 hour stream. It was me versus like 32 people. And people were saying, I don't care about homeless people because I didn't agree with their housing policy. It
Wouldn't
was insane.
isn't
That
It's
sounds about
literally
the
right.
insane.
majority of the
It
housing
wouldn't be
problem
right if
because
we
of
didn't straw
landlords
man you.
buying up all properties?
So I'll send you over to Razor. Are you streaming?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'll send you over to Razor. Support effort in Razor, a recent affiliate. And thanks all for coming through. I do appreciate you. Hopefully, yeah, we can put something together with Destiny. Because I'm really interested. It'd be, I think, a nice